HD1 and HD2 Kansas Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A 2-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited, thrilled, delighted to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Friday. What do we have planned for today? Well, let me tell you. Coming up in an hour, Josh Vernier will be on the show. I didn't think that we would be in a position that before the NFL draft is here, we usually have Vern on twice a week. We might have to dial it back to one. They got to give us a reason to have a Royals interview twice a week. They got to give us a reason. They have not. We also have a Kansas City, Missouri City Council member that is going to come on later today so we can learn a little bit more about the vote that is planned next week to pass the money through to help build the downtown stadium for the Kansas City Royals. So we have a very busy show planned. For maybe the first time in my broadcasting career, I have a master's topic about the actual golf tournament and event that I want to share with you guys. I know I'm really challenging myself. I'm really exploring and learning more about myself. We have a lot to get into in today's show. We got some draft stuff. This is the final week in the NBA. Baseball is going on. The Kentucky Derby is around the corner. WrestleMania is around the corner. This is a very busy time in the sports calendar. You guys have a lot of options, so I am very appreciative to every single one of you for, no matter how long you listen, the fact that you make this show part of your day, it really means a lot to us. I want you guys to know that. So we're going to start with the Royals coming up in just a bit. But before we do any of that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I would appreciate that. And number three, and most importantly, remember that the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. There is a very important golf tournament that I cannot say the name during this portion of the show, but you should maybe go watch that golf tournament over at The Other Place. The NBA playoffs are about to get going. We got baseball games coming up. There's a lot going on right now. What better place to go watch all of those things than with the fine folks over there at The Other Place with 5 locations around? And, Rob, a couple of those Other Place locations, they got karaoke today. I think the Olathe one. They got karaoke going on over there. So if you want to go up there and you want to sing Dancing Queen with the plate of those mozzarella sticks right in front of you, then go stop by and go see our friends over at The Other Place. I want to start with the Royals. And I promise you, I spend a lot of time thinking about this show. But I'm kind of stuck when it comes to the Royals with fresh new topics and ideas because the Royals are the exact same. How can I be fresh and new when they're not fresh and new? There's 2 things that I want to start the show with. Thing number 1 is this. Have we decided when it's officially not too early? Because I remember 2 days ago, I told you guys where I sat with the Royals. And Rob, you were here. The sentiment on the text line was that I was overreacting, that I wouldn't do this to the Chiefs. We need more time. We need more information. How dare you say this about the Royals this early on in the season? They got shut out yesterday by the Chicago White Sox. They did not score against one of the 5 worst teams in baseball at the crib. Once again, their offense is struggling. Once again, we are playing Where's Waldo for Vinny Pasquantino. I was reading a story earlier that the White Sox says that Jack Caglione does a lot of yapping during the game. What does Jack Caglione have to say during a baseball game to any other baseball player that's not on his team? What are you even talking to them about? You got enough problems with your own game. I would deal with that instead of worrying about what's going on with the opposition. But I don't want to come on here and be hot take radio guy, yelling and screaming and telling you that the season's over. You guys know my concerns with the Royals. I just think the Royals are an average baseball team. They're going to have some highs. They're going to have some lows. I would be surprised if the Royals completely played themselves out of it. I would be surprised if we looked at the Royals as being a real and legitimate contender. I think they are somewhere between a 77 to 83 win baseball team, and that will just likely not be enough to make all of us happy. But I don't want to come on here and say the same thing every single day and upset anybody. I like when you guys are happy with me. I like when you guys are happy with the show. And one thing I'm not super interested in fighting with you guys about is the average Kansas City Royals. I don't have it in me to do that every day for the next couple of weeks. So what I would like for us to do over the show is I would just like for us to establish when it's no longer too early and when we can start to have these conversations about the Royals. Because I'm reading the text line. It doesn't sound like it's today, 913-586-7965. Rob, you are on the other side. I told you guys yesterday, I think that there are two classes when it comes to the Royals. There's one group that I am in. I'm not just looking at this as being a 13-game sample with the Royals. I'm looking at this as being a 250-game sample with the Royals. They have been an average baseball team for about a year and a half now, and I have not really seen too much that would lead me to believe in 2026 that they are going to exceed that expectation. They look incredibly average. So the Royals will get hot at some point because that's what baseball teams do. They'll win a couple of games. They'll win a couple of series. They'll win 5 of 7. We'll have some highs with this team. We'll get excited about this team. They'll be in it just enough at the deadline in which we want them to make a move and to go for it. We've done this song and dance before. That's not the purpose of this. I just want to know what's the official date in which you can either be worried about the Royals or can we start to evaluate where their offense is? And not every conversation is based on, well, wait until, when are we done waiting until that happens? That's what I want to know as we are opening the show today. Rob, you are on the patience team, which I'm not saying that's the wrong team to be on. How long are you being patient with the Royals?
We talked about a little bit, I think after one of the day games they lost, so maybe this was Tuesday, maybe it was Wednesday. I'm going to say Cinco de Mayo before I'm willing to say, uh-oh, here we go again. Now, there are definitely indicators right now of, uh-oh, here we go again. But I'm going to wait a month to say the offense is worse and they are in worse shape, and it is same old, same old. And by the way, we talked about this yesterday. Same old is different nowadays than same old in 2012. But I'm going to give this team a month. There are worrying signs. There are also reasons why I don't think you should be worrying. So I'm going to let a month of baseball play out. I'm not going to go full Denny. Denny always says wait till June 1st. I'm not going to give the full wait till June. But on Cinco de Mayo, the draft has happened. Cody and Gold are back from Pittsburgh. Everyone's kind of done talking about their draft pick. You look up, you're having tacos. How are the Royals doing? Cinco de Mayo is my drop dead date for alarm or no alarm.
Now, someone on the text line says this, and I don't disagree with them. CDOT, right as the Royals win 7 out of 10 and get everybody excited, they'll end up getting swept at home. I can't really tell you that you're wrong in the way that you feel. You know, I make this joke with Rob that everybody cheers for Missouri. This is what cheering for Missouri basketball feels like. This is what Missouri basketball feels like. Jason Crow, he's Bobby Witt Jr. Like that every feeling that I go through as a Missouri basketball fan when you guys point and laugh and ask, how can you do this? That's what watching Royals baseball is right now. You know what I came to the determination of? This is what I came to. Right now, the Royals are the worst kind of team to cheer for. If you've been a longtime Kansas City sports fan, you have seen every style of team there is to cheer for. You have cheered for one of the greatest football teams in the history of the National Football League, while simultaneously also cheering for some of the worst teams in the history of the National Football League. You have seen Kansas compete for the #1 ranking in college football while also being the same program that was as dormant as you could be for almost a decade. You have seen Missouri multiple times be 1 win away from going to a national championship game. You have seen Missouri football be absolutely lifeless. If you have lived in this area and followed sports enough to know, you have seen all the highs and lows that you can have to go with it. Right now, the Royals are the worst kind of team. The worst kind of team that you can cheer for is a team that when you sit down in front of your television or when you buy a ticket to go watch them, you're not sure if they can score. A baseball team that can't score is a miserable team to watch and follow. If you're going to be below average, hell, give me the 04 Chiefs. Let's just score a lot of points. Let's play a lot of 9-8 baseball games. Let's just put up a lot of touchdowns, a lot of home runs. Hell, maybe you're not going anywhere, but man, it's a really good product. If you sat out there at Kauffman Stadium yesterday on the bank of all of this good, positive news, I mean, we're talking about the Royals building a state-of-the-art stadium in downtown Kansas City, where the state is going to give them $600 million of our dollars. They're going to give it to the baseball team. They didn't score a run yesterday to the White Sox. It'd be one thing if, Chris Sale went out there and shut out the Royals. It'd be one thing if Shohei went out there, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, one of those kind of. You got beat 2-0 at the crib by the White Sox. Just frustrating. They're the worst kind of team to cheer for. A baseball team that can't score is the least amount of fun that you can have watching a sports team. The absolute least amount of fun. They're like a kid. You know that your kid can do better if they just apply themselves. They're just happy getting C's on their report card. This makes you want to pull your hair out. You're sitting there watching them. I know you can be better. I just want you to apply yourself. They don't know how to apply themselves. They really don't. We're just going to continue to toil in this average abyss that the Royals continue to turn in. But some of you guys, I'm reading the text line, 913-586-7965. You're saying that I'm being a little too hard on them and it's early and be patient. So, okay, all right. So I want to do that, Life's about listening. So I want to listen to you guys. And if you were telling me that it's too early, I just want to know, when is it no longer too early to be worried about the Kansas City Royals? We can read your text, 913-586-7965. We're going to ask Vern the exact same question. Happy to have Vern join us on the show as well. Rob, you know what? I have some thoughts about the Masters that I want to share with you. I never thought I would say this. I'm so excited for this segment. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. Back goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Get ready, Kansas City!
Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading land, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley Equipment has 0% financing with approved credit on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop in today to any Foley Equipment location or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back. We're better. Let's get it.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Jack Caglione from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
The text line's funny sometimes. We're going to move on and talk about the Masters, but I want to read to you some of the text. 913-586-7965. Carrington, normally you irritate me. Okay, don't know what I did, but normally I irritate you. But today you're spot on with this. I'm tired of waiting. Tired of waiting for bats, waiting for pitching, waiting to be above 500. I don't know why we needed the first part of that text. We could have just went to, you're spot on about this. Why did you have to include the first part about that? That doesn't make me feel good. It's a Friday for me too. I'm not allowed to be in a good mood. Mean, hurtful. You guys don't know that these words cut deep. Text line 913-586-7956. C-Dot, you're right. This isn't a fun team to watch. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm telling you, the Royals they're the worst kind of team to watch right now. How many runs do you think they score today? Like, if you have a ticket and you plan on going out there, I'm not saying they can't score. They could score 7. But how many runs are you confident that they're scoring today? Rob, I saw this. Tell me if I'm wrong here. They've struck out 51 times in their last 41 innings. You're not even putting the ball in play. You're not doing the little things. You're not doing the simple things. You expect me to go out there. It might rain. It's gloomy as hell. You're not going to score. You're getting shut out by the Chicago White Sox. You're not putting balls in play. That's the product they want you to invest in right now. We can't even play how many people are going to be at Kauffman Stadium game tonight. I can't blame you for not going out there and watching that team. I mean, if you want to score on a Friday night, Kauffman Stadium is not one of the 10 places you should go. Go to Buzzard Beach before you should go to Kauffman Stadium, if those are the options. It's terrible right now. 913-586-7965. C-Dot, Vern always talks about a higher standard. The fans are saying wait and see. The team demands more of themselves at the start of the season, so we don't exit April with a 9-19 record that cooks us for the remainder of the year. I say this all the time. Remember, Rob, we said this last year. You can't make the playoffs in April. You can absolutely miss the playoffs in April. A great April does not ensure that you are going to make the postseason, but you can dig yourself in so much of a hole that you have gotten in so much debt, so to speak, that you just don't have enough time to potentially get yourself out of it, where you spend most of the season now trying to make up the ground. That's why, to me, the it's too early argument to me, you're not coming to grips with what the Royals are. What have the Royals shown you over the last year and a half, that they are ready to take that next step, that they're ready to be more consistent, and that they can truly compete with the top 5 to 7 teams in the American League? I just haven't really seen a whole lot that would tell me that I should have confidence that they're going to turn this thing around.
I think that's fair. I also think it's fair, and it's someone on the other side, to say, you're right, you can miss the playoffs in April. I don't know that 5-8 is missing the playoffs. We just hit double digits in the month.
You and I have seen a lot of Royals baseball where a 5-8 start very quickly turns into a 7-13 start, though.
Yeah, but what if they're at the end of the month? I don't know how many games they'll play by the end of April. Let's just say they're 13-16. They'll play 29 games. That's not an April that buried you. That maybe they're 500. Maybe they're a few games under 500 by the end of April. That's not missing the playoffs because of April. I think people, because it's early and there's only been so little baseball played, people are jumping to the massive conclusions. And I'm just saying, let's wait to make those big-time statements. Right now, I'm cool with judging the team as it sits right now. Vinny Pasquantino stinks right now. Salvador Perez has a better chance going up there with a cricket paddle than he does a baseball bat right now. He's not hitting anything. Runners in scoring position, absolute disaster. We can talk about those things on April 10th. But people acting like it's June of 25 again, or this is the end of the road, or, this is why the team will stink. I think those leaps to conclusion are a little bit presumptive and early. I will evaluate what I'm seeing now, but I'm not saying with widespread it's over type of statements yet. Which is what I'm seeing in the text line. You're not saying that, but there's a lot of that on the text line.
Over. Can I tell you 2 Masters things that I've learned over the last 24 hours? I'm actually keeping up with this tournament a little bit more than you think I'm keeping up with it. Now, I'm not going to come on here and pretend like I am big golf guy. I am not big golf guy. I keep up with the major tournaments. I'll go to Top Golf a couple of times a year, and I enjoy playing the golf video game. That's all I got. I don't have too much more than that. I'm not too much more interested in golf than that. But, hey, I definitely get it why you were into it. And I actually do enjoy watching the Masters. I will watch some of the Masters as the week is going on. So I'm going to tell you 2 things I've learned about the Masters. One thing I learned about the Masters is there is a gentleman that is competing in this, and his name is Brandon Holtz. Now, maybe you don't know who Brandon Holtz is. He is a 39-year-old real estate agent in Bloomington, Illinois. So this is his backstory. Brandon played D1 basketball. I believe it's Southern Illinois. He was a Saluki. His basketball career didn't go anywhere, but he was a pretty decent golfer. Now, he was a pretty decent golfer, but he wasn't too good at golf. Rob, he made $14,000 playing golf over a 4-year stretch. Now, your woman might be very patient with you, and she wants to help you pursue your dream, but at some point, you got a mortgage. At some point, you got a family. At some point, you got bills. So if you're only making $14,000 over a 4-year stretch, that is not a job. That is a hobby, and you need to go get a job at some point. So he did go get a job. He became a real estate agent. But as I think is the case with a lot of people who are getting closer to 40 years old, he started thinking, you know what? I'm young enough that I still have the ability to do a lot of the things that I want to do in life. So he told himself, you know what? I'm going to lock in one more time, and I'm going to give myself a chance to be a professional golfer. Now, I can't remember the name of the tournament, but there was a tournament that if you won, you would get a special exemption for the Masters and the U.S. Open. Brandon Holtz went out, he hit some golf balls, and you know what? He won that golf tournament, and he is competing at Augusta National. Now, I don't want to tell you that he shot 8 over in the first round because I don't care. That does not matter to me. You could have shot 100 over. You were a real estate agent. You then woke up and said, I'm getting close to 40. I want to give myself one chance to be a professional golfer. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to compete. You went out there. You won the tournament. You're at Augusta. I don't care what number you shoot. You get to shoot 2 rounds at Augusta National. So salute to Brandon Holtz. He's my favorite golfer this week, even though I don't know anything else about him other than what I just told you. I literally know no other fact about Brandon Holtz other than that. He grew up. They went to the Masters a couple of times. He always wanted to go. And look, he lived out his dream. That's the plot line of a movie. Salute to him. So that's one thing that I've learned about the Masters. I want to play for you the second thing I learned about the Masters. And maybe everybody knew this. I know the text line, they know everything. They're all knowing. Every fact they knew and they've heard a million times before. I had not heard this fact until earlier today. Listen to this.
There are no menus when you order food at Augusta National Golf Club. That's right. Now, of course, the Masters concession stands, that's different. We've all seen the menu for that. But when you actually dine inside the clubhouse at Augusta National, it is said that there are no menus out on the tables. The server comes over and says, hey, what do you want to eat? And this has been a story that's been told many times. So basically, they can make a menu for you. They can give you a menu, but they basically come up to you and say, what do you feel like you're eating? What do you want to eat? Just tell us what you want to eat, and we'll bring out and make it perfect however you want. If you're in the mood for a steak, if you're in the mood for French toast, if you're in the mood for, you know, a grilled chicken, whatever it is, Augusta National is going to take care of that for you. And that just goes to the allure and the story and the legacy of the club and all the myths, the legends, the stories that get thrown around.
Hey, man. What did he just say? He said they don't have a menu. You just sit down and tell them what you want, and they'll just make it?
That's inside the clubhouse for members.
No, I know that. I know that's not for everybody. But I'm just saying, I don't care where you are.
It's incredible.
You just walk in there, and you're just like, hey, I really would like X. And they're, no problem. And you sit down, and they'll just make it? How is that even possible?
The crazy part, he said, it's always good, no matter what you order.
How is that possible?
How do you quality control?
I'm starting to think that Augusta National is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I'm serious. That's what I'm starting to think. You remember in the movie Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, how they just had all of these things, and you're just like, how did you make this? How do you have gum that tastes like tomato soup? How do you have a gobstopper that never gets smaller? How do you just have this chocolate river that's just flowing right through the middle of your factory? Willy Wonka, you're a sorcerer is what you are. This is not possible. This is not real. You got a glass elevator in here? You got these little small people. I don't even know where they're from. They're just orange. That's what I'm starting to think Augusta National is. I've never heard of anything like that before. They don't have menus? So you just sit down and you tell them, hey, you know what? I'm in the mood for some char-grilled oysters and an A5 Wagyu. Oh, coming right up. What? That's not realistic. What kind of sorcery they got going over there at Augusta National?
I'm puzzled too. Let's say me and you played Augusta and we get in the clubhouse and you want seared oysters and an A5 Wagyu. And I say, I want hash browns, eggs, and bacon. They bring us both of those items, even though they are wildly different. Hey, I'd like your version of a Chipotle burrito, and you want A5 Wagyu. And hey, coming right up, we got you. Anything you can think of, you just get.
I don't know, man.
I understand why membership now is so exclusive. All the fees are going to handling the kitchen.
I have a joke, but I don't know if I can share it. But maybe some of their practices are, you know what, never mind. Let's just move on. Let's move on.
To be fair, they have been historically dragged for some of their practices.
No, maybe that's why, because if you're sitting there and she just doesn't know what to order and you're just like, you can get whatever you want. I don't know. It's so many options. You can literally get whatever you want to eat here. Maybe that's why they're like, you know what, maybe they shouldn't come. Maybe that's why. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility of why they're maybe just like, you know what, that's why you're not allowed here.
It also highlights the difference between the patrons and the people who get to be members there. The peasants get to pay for the pimento cheese sandwich. We want A5 Wagyu for the vibes. Who cares? It's noon. Let's go.
I'm just serious. Someone says, does the Masters have a crew of Michelin star chefs back there? I'm assuming they do. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm going to assume that they do for this. Maybe they don't have them there regular, like but yeah, the amount of money that's coming through, like, you're right. This isn't the place that everybody can eat. Like, you got to be one of the high-end people to be able to eat there. Yeah, I'm assuming that flying in for this thing, the amount of lobsters and crabs and just all of the things that they are flying in is just the cigars, the champagne, the brandy. They got things you've never seen before back there. That's really where the Illuminati meets, I'm guessing. They meet Masters Week.
This explains the no phone rule.
Exactly. That's exactly why you can't bring your phone, for sure.
Can't have people know what goes on in the clubhouse.
For sure. No. You make a very, very good point. That's why it's so secretive. That's why you can't bring your phone, because that's where the Illuminati meets. Now we learned. At least we know they're eating good. Now, if there's one thing that we have learned, it is that they are eating absolutely phenomenal. All right. Let's talk a little bit of Kansas basketball. I'm not even going to take any shots at KU over the next couple of minutes for however long we talk about this. I don't have any shots to take. This is time for real news, because last year, you remember Flory hit the portal, but Flory came back. Flory flirted with a couple of schools, but in the end, Flory was like, you know what? I want to continue to be a Jayhawk. So he stayed. So I want to play for you a couple of pieces of audio, because I don't know if Flory is coming back this time. This audio is courtesy of CBS Sports.
Well, you know what the ironic thing is, Chris? I think he's a first-round NBA draft pick. In fact, I've got him at 29 on our big board, but here's the thing. That equated this year to about a $2.3 million slot, and he's going to get a whole lot more in the portal. I mean, we're talking about somebody who averaged 13, 9, almost 3 blocks per game, 3 offensive rebounds per game. As athletic a big man in there is, he rim runs. He's a highly versatile defender, super quick off his feet. He can block shots. He can finish. He's a lob threat. So he's going to be as dominant of a center as there is if he stays in college, in the college game next year.
I do think there's a very important thing to note here that I don't think this context gets brought up. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think we have to at least operate in this. The reason that Flory can make more next year playing college basketball than in the NBA is your salary in the NBA is capped because you are a rookie and because they have a hard salary cap. So it doesn't matter if you are the number 1 overall pick. This is not where you can go to the absolute highest bidder. They have a cap system. So the highest paid players in the NBA all make X amount. The highest paid rookies all make the X amount. That has been collectively bargained through their union. That is not how college athletics work. There is no salary cap. It is how much money can you generate? How bad do you want to win? That's the question. How bad do you want to win? we've heard enough people, I would say over the last 10 years. Now, this is not a shot at Kansas. This is federal documents, federal court work. They said back when Kansas was buying 5-star recruits, the federal government said that the cost for a 5-star started at $100,000. That's to even have the conversation with the Billy Preston. You need $100,000. Now that everybody can pay and everybody is paying, and now you are seeing supply and demand, goods and services. This is capitalism working. Everybody likes this system. Everybody is signed up for this system. There is no cap at how much money you can earn or how much money you can accrue. You are seeing it play itself out in college athletics. So, yeah, if you're Flory, you absolutely will make more money next year playing wherever you play college basketball than you were going to get from going to play for the Dallas Mavericks, 100%. The Mavericks can only pay you a certain amount of money. There is no cap to how much money Kansas can pay you. There is no much cap to how much Duke basketball can pay you. So, yeah, guys like Flory are going to continue to press that lever every single year when it comes to the transfer portal, when it comes to getting a bag. He's shown himself to do that now. So, yeah, he's going to get paid. I think Flory's the best player in the portal. I think he's the best player in the portal. When you factor in his size, his defensive ability, instant plug and play, I think Flory's the best player in the portal. That guy makes $4 million now. That guy makes $5 million now. Maybe Kansas didn't want to pay it. It sounds like they didn't want to pay it. Somebody else will very happily pay Flory to show up and average 15 points and have 11 rebounds and be the best defensive big in college basketball. He is going to get a very substantial amount of money. You were telling me, Rob, I haven't been keeping up with it because I don't go on KU message boards. I mean, we talk enough KU on the show. Now I got to go to where KU fans hang out. That's a point too extreme for me. You told me the Texas Tech is interested. If it is Texas Tech or Kansas, I know y'all got money over at KU. You don't got Texas Tech money. You don't want to win as badly in sports as they want to win. If Texas Tech is interested in Flory, that's where he's going.
That is the current, you know how 24/7 Sports has the crystal ball where, their experts pick where players going? Texas Tech right now is the betting favorite for Flory Badunga, although St. John's and Duke are also reportedly getting involved. I don't want this to sound like sour grapes about Flory as a Kansas fan.
Here you go. Here goes that hateration, holleration.
This is one of the reasons why they need to become employees and need to have, caps and contracts and things. The fact that a first-round pick, the 29th overall pick, which is what they're saying on CBS Sports, not a lottery pick, and probably a guy that you would encourage to go back to school as 29th overall pick. But the fact that at the 29th overall pick, he'll make $2 million, and right now the bidding is around $5 million from to stay in college, is one of the reasons why people don't like NIL and don't like the portal. We shouldn't have a system where it's better by a wide margin financially to be a player in college than a first-round pick. Can you imagine? We'll use last year's draft class when the Chiefs picked at the very end of the draft. We'll use last year's draft class. Can you imagine if the Chiefs couldn't get Josh Simmons because he could make double at Ohio State versus the Chiefs? Chiefs fans would be irate. The pros should always be the pros. It shouldn't be, I'm taking a pay cut to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. It should be the opposite.
I don't disagree with what you were saying, but I guess my point would be is I don't know if there is anything more American right now than college athletics. And I think that's part of why people have become so dismayed with it. I think that's part of it. This is a capitalistic society. You should be able to work where you want to work, make as much money. No one should be able to tell you. The government can't come. If you are on that side socially, I don't know how you can have a problem with how college athletics are working right now. This is the system that you want. You don't want government interference to step in and regulate it. And the market is the market. Whatever the market tells you you're worth, you should be able to go out there and make. If you are one of those people that believe that, and there's a lot of people that believe that way, you also can't tell me college athletics is broken, because that is the model that we have right now. You can go work wherever you want to work. You can make as much money as somebody is willing to pay you. Show up and do the best that you can. How can I be mad at it? Now, I just saw this from Jeff Goodman. Maybe you didn't see this. Flory Badunga is going to Duke this weekend. So today he is at Louisville, and on Sunday he is going to leave Louisville and he is going to go take a visit at Duke. He also has Michigan and St. John's in the mix, so a nice little market brewing for him. I mean, those are 4 schools with money. I'm gonna tell you that much right there. 4 schools with money. If I'm Flory, I'm going to Michigan.
I've always been of the belief,
and not even just because they just won, really quickly though, but Michigan, they just got that kid from Tennessee, so they got another legit big. You put those two there, I mean, Michigan, and they also got the point guard is coming back. Cadeau is coming back, so you're going to have a top 5 point guard, another really good big. It's kind of hard to not go to Michigan right now if you're Flory.
The rumor on the street for a while has been that Duke has been one of the teams whispering in his ear about money. So I think Duke is probably the betting favorite. But again, like you said, I peruse KU message boards, and I am a subscriber to a lot of those recruiting sites, which makes me think that Duke might be the top team for Flory Badunga.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just assume with any of these players, I would say it's the same way like you're recruiting high school kids. If that guy is on campus and you can't do enough right then and there to get him to sign, you should assume he's not coming. You assume right then and there. If you follow college athletics enough, you know when you have those official visits. If you don't commit while you're there, and now you got North Carolina coming up, and you don't commit, I mean, for example, that's basically what happened to Missouri and Caleb Love. Back when over, you know it's over. The moment you let him get on that plane, you let him go to Chapel Hill, you were never getting him back. So if you're Louisville, you need to make sure that Flory is not on that plane to Duke. And if you are Duke, I think Flory's the best player in the portal. He's the best defensive player in college basketball. Yeah, if you're Duke, I'm not letting you go to Michigan. I'm not letting you go to St. John's. You cannot do it. That's just the measure of the way recruiting is. Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Vernier is going to join us on the show. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better. Let's get it.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen at odyssey.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
This afternoon, expect showers and thunderstorms with a high of 61.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, tell me if I'm tripping, because I could be tripping, and that happens sometimes. It doesn't happen a lot, but it could happen. So shout out to Pete Gradhoff. He had a story, and the headline of the story said, White Sox pitcher unhappy with Royals Jack Caglione. So I clicked on the story. And the story is talking about a little dust up, wasn't, anything that big of a deal. So Jack Caglione got walked. He and Anthony Kay, who was the pitcher for the White Sox, they had a little bit of a staring contest, and that was it. Now, Anthony Kay was asked about this, and he said he did not like Jack Caglione's response, and he said this, quote, "Those guys like to chirp a little bit, it seems like. I don't think we are going to take that anymore. We are going to go right back at them." So that was the White Sox response to, it just feels like it's machismo. Caglione got hit. They're looking at each other. All of those kind of things. Rob, why is Jack Caglione even in the middle of this kind of stuff? Am I wrong in thinking that you were not playing well enough for you to be in any dust-ups with anybody? You were not playing well enough for you to be getting in little back and forths, looking at each other. My brother, you don't have a home run this season. You don't have an RBI this season. You're hitting 230. Why is Jack Caglione getting into dust-ups? Why does he have a reputation around, at least with one team, that he likes to chirp a little bit? What is this based on? Am I wrong in thinking this?
I don't know you're wrong, but let me frame it a little different way. We all know back during the run with the Royals, Mike Moustakas was not hitting at all in 2014. I know they went to the World Series, but we can look back at Mike Moustakas' baseball card in 2014. He was not hitting. He was not a great hitter with the Royals. If you ask anyone on those teams, anyone who covered those teams, who was the guy who was chirpy in the clubhouse? Who was the guy you've seen videos now?
Moose.
It was Mike Moustakas.
Sure.
So I'm not saying Jack Caglione is or is not Mike Moustakas, but I think there is an air of personality type. There's a little bit of a red ass type, and maybe Jack Caglione has that same energy that Mike Moustakas did. Because I'm sure in 2014, if you were to go ask a Tigers pitcher, hey, who in the Royals dugouts chirpy, they would say the third baseman who's not hitting. That would be my bet. Isn't that the same as Caglione doing it in 2026?
Yeah, but I guess, and maybe this would be the comparison, because someone says, C-Dot, we've been asking this team to show fire, haven't we? I think that some of those things fans just get more excited about than maybe I get excited about. At this point, it's just about production. Like, that's all I really care about. Now, I understand you got to play with a certain measure of edge and attitude and all of those things. And the Moose thing, I would say the allure of Moose started to grow when Moose got better. When Moose was the chirpy guy that didn't want to answer questions about Jason Vargas, we were not patting Moose on the back for being the chip on our shoulder. No, it was you need to play better kind of guy. Now, again, this is just one small thing, and I understand this is picking at the Royals for what is a much bigger problem. But Jack Caglione hasn't done enough in baseball to be chirping back and forth with the other team. He just hasn't done a whole lot. And I would say that Jack Caglione, I know it's not all of his fault, but Jack Caglione is indicative of the problem of the Royals so far in 2026. The Royals in 2026, we're going into it with we didn't do a whole lot outside the organization because we have a lot of confidence and trust inside our organization to be able to fix the problem. those guys have not helped fix the problem. Vinny Pasquantino is not the solution right now. Jack Caglione has not been the solution so far. Those guys are why we are frustrated about the Royals so far. So, again, I understand that maybe I'm picking at the Royals just a little bit here, but when you got off to the start that you have, and we were just applauding these guys a couple of weeks ago for the World Baseball Classic and their personalities, you should have been hitting the ground running if you were the Royals. Like, I don't want to hear this, oh, they weren't around the team, spring. No, you were playing high-level baseball these last couple of weeks. You should be game ready to go, ready to hit the ground running. So I don't think that the Royals would be in a different situation if there was no World Baseball Classic and they had been with the team in spring training the entire time. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it, at least.
Does the chirpiness bother you more about the Royals? Because I think part of the reason the Royals were reportedly chirpy, and I think it's worth noting the White Sox pitcher is the one saying it, is because of who they were playing. Like, maybe it's a bad analogy, but maybe the Royals, who have absolutely dog-walked the White Sox for 3 years now, are chirpy because they don't lose to that team. I remember a game last year, a guy just dropped a pop-up and the Royals beat the White Sox. The Royals hadn't lost the White Sox at home in like 3 years. It's been a long time. I wonder if some of that chirpiness from Cags is a product of the dugout with the intent, with the thought of, yeah, we don't lose to this team. Like, it's that no matter how good or bad you are at basketball, when you play your little brother, you plan on beating him, and you can get a little chirpy because I never lose to him. It was a reminder, I'm better than you. Maybe that chirpiness is part of the clubhouse mentality of, we don't lose to these guys stink. And it wasn't, Cags in particular. It was a product of the culture in the clubhouse, which is, we're playing Chicago. Guys, we don't lose to Chicago.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Josh Vernier. We'll also get you an update on the Masters and everything that is going on at Augusta. We'll do that in a bit. Let's have a sprinkle of a little NFL draft conversation. Here is Mina Kimes on ESPN. I think she echoes the sentiment that a lot of Chiefs fans have as we are heading into the draft.
I love it. I think this would be a dream outcome for Kansas City, quite frankly, in part because they really need pass rush. Last season, their highest-ranked edge rusher and pass rush win was George Karlaftis, who ranked 25th at the position. They need juice there as part of that four-man rush in particular, and juice is exactly what Ruben Bain Jr. brings to the table. His get-off is extremely explosive. He plays with violent hands. The way he converts speed to power is special. His motor also runs hot versus the run. And I think for Kansas City, he fits their timeline because this is a team that should be competitive every year, including next year, and he's a pro-ready player. I also like it when you look at the draft as a whole. They are picking later in the first round, and they have other needs, corner, wide receiver. I think that they are more likely to find an impactful receiver at the end of the first round than they are to find an edge rusher who's anywhere close to Bain. I think there's a pretty big drop-off after 3. So to me, this would be a dream pick for Kansas City, and they better be hoping it happens.
Yeah, I think most Chiefs fans feel that way. I think if you went around and you polled 100 Chiefs fans, what do you want them to do? How do you want them to handle the 9th overall pick? In terms of realistic options, I think that Ruben Bain would be the number 1 pick for Chiefs fans in that scenario. I don't think that David Bailey is going to be there. Now, Rob, let me ask you this, and this just popped in my head. Would you rather trade up for David Bailey? Like, let's say you got to move up to 5 to go get him, but it costs you your 3rd round pick. I think that Bailey is a better prospect than Ruben Bain. Or would you rather sit, Bain falls to you at 9, and you take Bain at 9? Would you rather trade up for Bailey or sit around and get Bain at 9?
I'd rather trade up for Bailey, but I also think it's largely moot because I think Bailey's gone at 2. I mean, we've talked about this on the show.
Yeah, you think he's leaving at 2?
I think he's a Jet. I would trade up to 5 to get David Bailey, but I think that's a little bit of just pie in the sky thinking. I don't think he's there at 5, but just of the 2 players, I think Bailey is the more solid player, and I would trade up to get him, to answer your question.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. The Royals have another game coming up later today at Kauffman Stadium. Can they score a run tonight against the White Sox? We'll find out from Vern. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Warmer weather, longer days, and a juicy steak sizzling on the fire. Ah, smells like grilling season is here. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Choose bacon-wrapped chicken grillers for $3.99 each. Marinated chicken breasts, $1.99. Thick-cut pork chops, 3 for $5. And specialty brats, just 8 for $10. Don't forget your favorite marinade, rubs, and sauces, and fire up the grill this Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee makes our life easier every single day. Not only do they have great quality customer service and value every single day at Hy-Vee, they help us out and they take the pressure of shopping off our plate. We've got our Perks Plus membership. We upgraded from the regular Hy-Vee Perks membership because with Perks Plus, we get free grocery delivery or express pickup, plus even more exclusive benefits and savings like fuel saver deals all day long. So enroll today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Only at Hy-Vee.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Tyler Reddick from 2311 Racing. Most slot games are a solo lap. Slot Masters on Chumba Casino puts you on the grid with 2 other players. Battle it out over a 2-minute run. Everyone's spinning at once, points stacking up, and the leaderboard updating before the clock hits 0. Are you ready to race? With over 200 casino-style games and new ones dropping every week, there's always something new to line up for. Join the fun at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in the state where it's legal to play.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hey Royals fans, it's Seth Lugo. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
This is breaking news from the Kansas City Star. They are reporting that former Kansas forward Bryson Tiller, he has a visit planned to Missouri this weekend. Interesting. Flores, he's moving on. Who knows where he's going to land? He's going to Louisville this weekend, going to Duke. Bryson Tiller, he's stepping on campus. Hopefully he gets a little bit of Trops. Maybe he gets a little bit of Booches. Maybe they take him to a little Shakespeare's Pizza. They show him how we can help turn you into an NBA player and you get a chance to play with a future All-American in Jason Crum. I mean, there's a lot of things to sell a very talented 19-year-old on coming to Columbia. Rob, what do you make of this breaking news? Bryson Tiller, he has a visit planned to Mizzou this weekend. I hope it's a great trip.
I mean, we knew he was going to visit Mizzou. They're one of his top 4 teams. So I don't know if this is breaking news.
No, it's breaking news. It's breaking news that he's going to go visit. When you have to hit that sounder and we have to talk about how a player that you really wanted to keep at Kansas transferred to Missouri, oh, it's going to be so good. I can't wait. There's nothing I want more for Missouri in the transfer portal than to pick up a very talented 6'11 freshman that played 25 games at Kansas last year, who I think could turn into a future NBA player. There's nothing I want more than for him to transfer to Missouri. It would really warm my spirit. Another thing that will warm my spirit is being joined by our next guest, our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. Vern, how are you doing today?
You know if he goes to Mizzou, he's going to get hurt or something. Okay. Come on, man. You've seen this a million times.
How in this situation, I'm going back and forth with Rob. I throw it to you, and then you're supposed to play it neutral here. You're not supposed to be on anybody's side.
I learned from you. I've been listening to you, the Mizzou fan. It ends in heartbreak. You know that.
You know what? I'm not going to go here with you. I'm going to keep it positive. Okay. I wanted to ask you about the Masters. I didn't know if you were a Masters guy or not.
Yeah, I normally record Sunday and then watch it when I get back from the ballpark. Normally all 4 majors, I record Sunday and go back and watch it.
Okay. Is that number 1 on your bucket list? Like tomorrow, if you were like, hey, I'll give you 2 tickets. You can go to the Super Bowl, Kentucky Derby, Indy 5. Would you take the 2 tickets to the Masters?
No, I think watching it on television is the way to go. I've been to a couple golf events and didn't really enjoy just plopping myself in one spot or following one golfer. It wouldn't be the Masters. If I haven't really, well, I've been to a Mizzou football game, but you know, I feel like there's a few SEC college football experiences that I should check off, and that might be at the top of my list.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What's the stadium you would go to? Because mine is always LSU at night.
Yeah, I can't dispute that. You know, Georgia, Ole Miss. I've heard great things about Ole Miss. I've never had an interest in visiting Mississippi, but Oxford might be something. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think a night game at LSU is the place to be.
Right now, we're joined by our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. So, Vern, there's a lot of things to get your opinion on. So maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't heard it. I'll just recap the take. I think right now there's two schools of thought when it comes to the Royals. I'm looking at this much more of a 1.5 year, 2-year issue with the Royals. I've had the stat over the last 240 games for the Royals. They are 2 games over 500. They are 121 and 119. I'm not here telling you same old Royals. That is disrespectful to somebody like you that has watched a lot of bad Royals baseball over the last decade or so. They are not that. But I do wonder if this organization, if this team is ready to take the next step. I've been using the analogy about the Pittsburgh Steelers. All of us think Pittsburgh is good, but we can acknowledge there's been a difference between Pittsburgh and Kansas City or Pittsburgh and Buffalo over the last couple of seasons in the NFL. That's just where I think the Royals are. They're stuck. Eventually, they're going to get hot. They'll win 5 out of 7. They'll win 7 out of 9. Baseball will happen, but can they consistently play at that level and go from being an 82, 83 win team to an 89 to 90 win team? That's talking about a team that can really make some noise in October.
And to me, you need to ask yourself how many stars are on this team. How many hitters in this lineup do I believe are either a star now or will be a star by the end of the season? Bobby, obviously, but how do you view Salvi? How do you view Vinny, Carter, Jack Caglione? Because to me, the comparison to the Pittsburgh Steelers, yeah, they've had TJ Watt, but I haven't watched a Steelers game of late and thought, wow, look at all that offensive talent. I do when I watch the Royals as I'm preparing for this season. From Garcia to Bobby, Vinny, Salvi, and the 2 youngsters and Carter and Cags, I do think there's talent here. But if you dispute that, if you don't think that these guys can blossom or are already stars, well then sure, yeah, that Steelers comparison, if you just think that Vinny's a good player, if you think Salvi's getting close to being, a little too old to be your cleanup hitter, if you're not buying in on Cags and Carter, well then yeah, this is a team that might be showing that it's not ready. But to me, when I look at the last 1.5 years of Royals baseball, it's really 3 different stories. We can go back to the end of 2024. That's all about the injury to Vinny Pasquantino. That's when that offense really started to take a nosedive. Last year, to me, it was the complementary pieces around Bobby, Vinny, Salvi, and Michael Garcia. You didn't get anything from second base. You really didn't get anything from any of your outfield positions last season. Freddie Fermin at times was the best complementary piece to that offense last year. And what we've seen this year is your stars have been anything but. Again, Salvi's now 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position. From your cleanup spot, he's 0 for 15. The Italians don't have a home run. Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi combined are hitting below $150 when it comes to runners in scoring position. So the reason why the offense is struggling this year, which, by the way, the offense right now ranks higher in Major League Baseball, most offensive statistics. It ranks higher right now than it did at the end of last season. So statistically, this offense is slightly better than last year's. But that only goes to show you that the complementary pieces are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, because if Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi are struggling as much as they are, and, Bobby's been okay, we expect Bobby to be superhuman. We really haven't even seen the offensive all-star Bobby Witt Jr. just yet. So Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi are dragging this offense down. I don't think that's going to continue. So while the first 13 games have certainly been disappointing, of the 8 losses, I would lay 6 of them at the feet of the offense. That being said, what you're getting from those guys surrounding the 1 through 4 in the lineup, to me, should buoy the spirits that things will turn around for this offense.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. I think that's fair. I think you and I 100% agree on this. In making a Chiefs comparison, if the Chiefs aren't winning, it's because of Mahomes, it's because of Kelsey, it's because of Andy Reid. It's not going to be because of Daniel Sorensen, in which you can lay the responsibility of that on. I am with you when it comes to this team. how we find ourselves in this situation is Jack Caglione doesn't have a home run, doesn't have an RBI. Vinny has gotten off to a slow start. You mentioned the Salvador Perez. You mentioned Bobby Witt Jr. If you're looking at those four, those are the guys that are supposed to carry your offense. And at least I think my frustration is they just go through so many of these spells over the last year and a half where you're counting on this nucleus of guys to be able to carry your offense, and they're just not there.
Especially in April, when we're talking about a guy in Vinny Pasquantino. It's 3 years in a row he's struggled out of the gates, and there's no excuse for it. But, 13 games in, we still have another 2.5 weeks left in the month of April. Vinny really didn't turn it on until the beginning of May last year. Hopefully tonight, facing a right-hander in Davis Martin can jumpstart him because he can't wait until May. Not if you have hopes of winning this division. And you just dropped 2 of 3 against Cleveland. You're headed to Detroit for a 3-game series coming up starting on Tuesday. You talk about the hitters that have fallen short of the expectations. You could put Cole Reagans in there as well, from his disappointing start on opening day to the unfortunate line drive he takes off of the hand. Sandwiched in between was a pretty solid start where the offense let him down, but just another example of why the first 13 games have been so disappointing. Honestly, I think they've played maybe 2 well-rounded games so far. But as far as the ups and downs, really, so long as Vinny's healthy, save the month of April, he's a pretty darn consistent hitter. Bobby Witt Jr. saved the month of April in 2024, and what he's gone through the first 2 weeks has been a pretty consistent hitter. His ups and downs is more like he goes from being the best player on the planet to being one of the 25 best players on the planet. That's Bobby's up and down. And Salvi's been doing that for a decade and a half, whether it's chasing the pitches down and away, whether it's pressing because he feels the need to carry the offense, whatever the explanation is or the reasoning is. We've seen this plenty with Salvi, but when you're a month away from your 36th birthday, we're all wondering if that cliff is awaiting the great catcher.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. When is it no longer too early with the Royals?
Too early for what? Playoffs, division?
That's a great way of putting it. I would say that this team is going to legitimately contend for the division. Maybe that's a fair way of quantifying it.
I think that could be May 1st. Yeah. I mean, because look at the schedule right now, man. I mean, after you take care of the Chicago White Sox here, 3 in Detroit, 3 in the Bronx against the Yankees, and then you come home to take on a Baltimore lineup that features Pete Alonso, Gunnar Henderson, and others. The Angels are no slouch, and then it's on the road to the bandbox in Sacramento. So the next week and a half, especially after you drop game 1 to the White Sox, a game you had no business losing, 6 straight against the Tigers and the Yankees starting on Tuesday. Now, Detroit isn't off and running, right? They're dead last in the division. They're even more disappointing than the Royals have been. But we know they're a good team, and I would imagine in Detroit they're saying the same thing about Kansas City. But, come May 1st, if you find yourself 5-6 games below 500 and Cleveland 6-7 games above 500, boy, you got a lot of work to do. Sure, you have 5 months to do it, but I don't know what you've seen from Cleveland over the past decade that leads you to believe that they're going to gag it away. You're going to have to go take it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a really, really good point. That's why, and you and I have had this conversation before. I mean, you can't make the playoffs in April, but you can certainly miss the playoffs in April. And I don't want to run this conversation with the Royals like, oh, it's too early, it's too early. Next thing you know, we look up and they're 5 games back after 40 games, but you're just thinking, well, hold on, now this team has to do this, and they got to keep this pace where I think there was an expectation with especially how they performed in the WBC that their offense was going to start hot and they were going to get going. And the fact that they had so much momentum with the WBC, and it feels like all of that momentum is basically dissipated, I think is what has people frustrated.
Yeah, certainly. All of that momentum is dissipated outside of Michael Garcia. This guy's hitting .320 and looks like the best, one of the best third basemen in all of Major League Baseball. Yeah, listen, Yeah, I have nothing to combat a disappointed fan base because I'm right there with you. Now, what I heard from the clubhouse yesterday, I do think, and this should be obvious, as Vinny, Bobby, Michael Garcia, and most of those guys have been through, not just last year, but the playoff run in 2024, the awful 2023. These guys are now vets. So this might come across as something that everybody already acknowledges, and it's obvious, but I do think this clubhouse is as well equipped to handle a disappointing start to the season as any clubhouse we've seen since Eric Hosmer left after 2017.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. Vern, look at that. We talked 15 minutes about the Royals. I didn't ask you one question about the stadium. Look at us.
Look at God, man. Thank you very much.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. I do have stadium thoughts of my own. We'll get to them coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another shot. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or even make a big, bold prediction. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. For this week's big tournament, I have my eye on Patrick Reed. He has performed well in this before, and he's plus 3,000. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. Like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Welcome to Radio Rental. The scariest stories you've ever heard in your life. All told by real people. And off we go.
This wasn't a human being that I saw. There's something here in this house, something not of this world.
There was a woman moving through the hall. I stepped back and I was completely alone.
Radio Rental is available now. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Roll
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Ford has announced $399 payments on Mustang, Bronco Sports, and Mavericks. $499 payments on Broncos, Explorers, Rangers, or an F-150. And only Shawnee Mission Ford offers a $500 gas card on top of those low payments. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a stall up at 435 northbound and 210 highway. Right lane is blocked. And then just south of Olathe, that's a crash in the cleanup stages, but still big backups. 35, it's northbound, the on-ramp from 151st. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carlos Esteves from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot right here on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up in 40 minutes, we're going to be joined by Nathan Willett. He put this press release out yesterday, so it made us reach out to him. Quote, public feedback is crucial before voting on any stadium proposal. I did not join my other colleagues in sponsoring the proposed legislation, the legislation that would earmark $600 million to give to the Royals. Any proposal should be approved by the taxpayers of Kansas City. In the meantime, I will make sure the details of the proposal do not harm police and fire budgets. So he is a member of the city council in Kansas City. He's going to be on the show coming up at 4 o'clock, and we're going to just ask him some questions and get his thoughts on all of the news that happened yesterday and about his press release. We'll do that coming up in just a bit. I want to have this conversation about the Royals, 913-586-7965. Now, I don't want anybody to take this first statement the wrong way, but I don't believe that your experience of going to Chiefs games is going to change that much. I understand that where the stadium is going to change, but I have a lot of faith and confidence that the Chiefs understand what their consumer wants and what is really important to you guys. That what is really important to you guys is the parking lot. And they understand that. You cannot grow up in this the way that Clark grew up in it and not understand what tailgating means to your consumer. You cannot grow up in this and not understand what tailgating has meant to your company's brand and be the businessman that I think that Clark is without this fundamental understanding. So yes, they're going to have new traditions because the stadium is going to be different. But what I think matters most to Chiefs fans, I think it's largely going to remain intact. You're just going to drive in an opposite direction than you do now. But I think they're going to have more than enough space, more than enough parking, more than enough for you to go out there and continue to have some of the best tailgates that football and American sports have to offer. So that's number one. I think we're having a very, very different conversation about the Royals. How we watch Royals games, the experience of going to Royals games, getting to Royals games, parking, almost every facet of being a Royals fan is about to radically change in our lifetime. that has never really been the case. Why I think this story matters so much. Because the teams are staying in the area. Like, I understand if there's a point of pride for the Chiefs being in Missouri, but they're going to be in Kansas. You'll just drive over there. You'll still watch them the same. It's not that big of a deal to me. I think what we're talking about with the Royals is they are building the Royals in the middle of a community. They're not building the football stadium in the middle of a community. There ain't nothing over there. They can do whatever they want over there. They got all the land and all the room. They got no neighbors. You can really stretch out over there. That's not really what we're talking about with the baseball team. They go from kind of being out of everybody's way, the way that they have for basically our entire life, certainly for a lot of people my age, our entire life out of the way, to now they're going to be in the middle of everybody's way. They're going to have construction in the heart of downtown Kansas City for years in trying to build this thing. You are going to be able to very easily see the progress they are making with this new stadium. We've never had anything like this before. So the effect that it's going to have on traffic while they're building it, the effect that it's going to have on traffic after it's done, the game day traffic, how you get in, how you get out. Everybody has their own specific way how they get to the Truman Sports Complex. You're going to have to find new ways and tricks to get out of there. It is radically going to change the way that we consume baseball in this town. I don't necessarily think it's the case with football. I understand it's the National Football League, and getting this will one day get us a Super Bowl. And again, I'm not trying to minimize going from Kansas or Missouri to Kansas and what that means for the local economy, what that means for all of these things, and the shift that I think the NFL moving can have. But the Chiefs are in one location that's out of the way, about to move to another location that's out of the way. That's not the conversation we're having with the Royals. They are in a location that is out of everybody's way and is soon about to be in a place that is in the middle of everybody's way. They're talking about building an entertainment district. They're talking about being on the streetcar line. They're talking about being across the street from Crown Center. Some of you haven't been to Crown Center in a decade. You're about to go to Crown Center again very, very soon. Some of you only go to Union Station maybe once, twice a year. You will start to go to Union Station a lot more. There's going to be bars and restaurants that pop up around this thing that were not there, that now just want to be close to the action because you got a guaranteed base that's coming down 81 times a year, not to count any other activity that they're going to have at Kauffman Stadium. This is just radically going to change the way that we consume sports in this city.
I agree, and I don't want to say the way Royals fans have done it their entire lives is wrong. But to an extent, I think one of Royals fans' hesitation of the downtown stadium is A, change, and people hate change, and B, they're so used to what the systems and the plan and everything was at Kauffman Stadium. But if you look around the landscape of baseball in the whole Carrington, the Royals have always been an outlier with how they handle their stadium. We can name stadium after stadium after stadium in Major League Baseball where it's downtown. This is the norm in baseball. This is how baseball operates as a sport. I mean, just think about it. The Cardinals, the Tigers, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Pirates, all these teams have their stadium in their downtown district, and they have entertainment shops and things around the stadium. It is not just a, hey, come here for the Royals baseball, go home. It is a, full-time event type of energy. And I think it will be an adjustment for Royals fans to get used to, hey, I can just head downtown. I may not go to the game, but I'm around it, and that's a thing to do. Maybe I go down there, and in the third inning, I'm getting a drink at Casual Animal Brewing, and I decide, you know what, the Royals game's close. Let's see if I can get some cheap tickets and ride the streetcar in. I think that's the experience that most all of America has with baseball, and Royals fans, I understand why they're hesitant to go that direction because it's new and different, but that new and different is actually the norm if you ever get outside the Kansas City bubble.
I like this text here. Someone says, CDOT, it's the first time in 50 years that you can go to a Royals game and have something to do before and after the game. Tailgating was only a thing for Royals games because you didn't have any other options before the gates opened up. I said this a couple days ago. I can't remember if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. There is not a tailgating culture around Royals games. There absolutely is for the Chiefs. There is not really that same culture when it comes to going to baseball games. What does excite me about all of this is, if you've been down to the Big 12 tournament, you know that there is an energy around the venue. People are in the streets, they're shooting baskets, people are outside, there's music playing, there's people selling tickets, they're handing things out. Like, there is an energy and a buzz. You want to go down there, even if you are not going to the actual Big 12. You want to watch the game with other people that are down there. Like, you want to be around the action because things are happening. That does not happen at Royals games. That will now happen with Royals games. People would just want to be in downtown Kansas City because the baseball game is going on. So whether it's a day game and people are just walking around, they're taking off and they want to go to the game. Maybe it's a night game, so you take off a little bit early, so you'll go have dinner down there and then you'll go to the game and maybe you'll go out afterwards. Like, there will be a vibe and an energy, I think, pretty regularly down there. And if the Royals get good and they remain to be good when it's down there, that will be the place to be. Very rarely in our lifetime has Kauffman Stadium been the place to be. I know we all look at 2014 and 2015 as a fever dream. Really, outside of that, maybe there's like a pop-up event that happens. Jack Caglione Day at the K, you want to go out there. Man, if they're a good baseball team, it will be a place that people want to go and hang out and just be around the energy and vibe that's there.
It's kind of, and I know half the audience will hate this analogy, but Carrington, you'll get it. It's like a KU basketball game. I go to Lawrence for KU basketball games. You know what I do before? I go out and get food or I get a drink or something before heading to Allen. You know what Lawrence is doing? They're all enjoying. There's a vibe. There's an energy. KU is playing tonight. It's not like Allen Fieldhouse is just one big parking lot and everyone parks, goes to the game, and goes home. No, there's like a feel around town. That's what Kansas City will be like for a Royals game. Someone on the text line says it perfectly. In the past, you had to make a plan to go to a Royals game. Now you might just end up at a Royals game. You have a meeting downtown, or, hey, I'm going to grab a drink after work. Hey, you know what? I'll just do it at the K. It will be an aura, as the kids say, a feeling around town and energy just with, oh, there's baseball happening here tonight, and now there are things to do around the baseball game. It is not, we have to make a plan to drive out to the Truman Sports Complex, park, and then come back. It is more, all-inclusive, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, naming rights aside, do you think it'll still be called Kauffman's? Like, we all still call it Arrowhead, but it is GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. That's what I think the new stadium will be. Like, if you're going to go into it for the money, you might as well go all in. You might as well just call it Sprint Field at Kauffman Stadium and just get as much money as you can, or T-Mobile Field, or whatever they'll call it.
I'm trying to think. What's the, there's a local construction company that owns a minority share of the team. It's like John Sherman and then part of that, like Paul Rudd group, that small group. I think it was a construction company. So it'll be that construction company at Kauffman Stadium. That's a safe bet to or it'll be Kauffman Stadium, but the, concourse is brought to you by H&R Block, and now you have the Hy-Vee entrance. Like, they'll find a way to corporate it up. I have a pretty good bet about that.
Oh, for sure. Can I read this to you? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it is still sports related. So someone tweeted me who is a KU fan, and I'm excited about the possibility of getting Bryson Tiller. Someone sent me a text and said, CDOT, before you get excited, you should go watch his highlights from the Big 12 tournament, especially the second half against Houston. Now, I want to point out that not a single player on KU played very well in the Houston game. That's how they got thumped in the game. There is nothing you can tell me as a Missouri fan that would not get me excited about having Bryson Tiller. Not a single thing you could tell me about him. I watched him last year just the way that you guys watch him. Like, all these jokes about me being a KU fan, I watch the team. So you cannot tell me a 6'10", 19-year-old who played 25 games at KU last year and was a part of their rotation and was a top 50 kid coming out of high school and was McDonald's All-American. You cannot tell me that him going to Missouri is a bad thing for Mizzou. I am thrilled if they end up getting him. I think he's one of the better players you can get in the portal. Now, there's more experienced players, and there's going to be some guys who they got 1 year left. They don't have as much development left, but that guy is going to be an instant automatic bucket. There's always that guy when it comes to the transfer portal. If you're telling me at 6'10", 6'11", I think there's a chance that Bryson Tiller can play in the NBA at some point. I really do. And that is the kind of player that Kansas used to do better than anybody at developing. Like, I watched enough Kansas basketball over my time. I've seen a lot of players that people didn't like when they were a freshman. Bill then kept them around, molded them, And then they got a little bit better as a sophomore. And then by the time they got to be a junior, they exploded onto the scene, turned themselves into an All-American, and went on to the NBA. I think that Bryson Tiller was trending to be one of those kinds of players. So I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this as a Missouri fan. There is nothing you can tell me based off what I saw Bryson Tiller do last year and the way I saw his game develop over time that you can convince me that he's not going to continue to be a good college basketball player. Maybe I'm wrong on him being a future NBA guy, but for a true freshman, and we agree, the sport has gotten older.
He was a redshirt, by the way.
Okay, my bad.
He's a
but
freshman.
just as a freshman, and a sport that we think is getting older, at 19 years old, you were telling me that last year he played 25 minutes a game, he could shoot it a little bit, and is 6'10", and I think pretty skilled. Yes, sign me up for that kid.
I understand both sides of this conversation. I looked this up while you were talking. Bryson Tiller is ranked 31 on 24/7 Sports as far as transfer portal players. It does not. I don't care about his name. If you're a Missouri fan and you're getting a top 30-ish portal kid, you got to be excited. I didn't go back and look up every rankings. I bet Mark Mitchell was very similarly ranked in the portal when he left Duke and ended up in Missouri. So, yes, I understand why Missouri fans would be excited if Bryson Tiller chooses Missouri. I also understand why Kansas fans aren't viewing this as some monumental collapse. Because Bill Self benched the kid at the end of the year. He did not play much in the St. John's game. He got benched in the second half of the Houston game. There were other games this season where he was more notable for sitting on the sideline than watching the game. I don't know if Shrey Haas is a friend of the show yet, but I remember he wrote an article about how Bryson Tiller is responding to being benched right before March. So at the end of the season,
he responded like a 19-year-old would respond.
Poorly. That's exactly, I agree. But because of that, I understand why a KU fan is saying that kid got benched and responded poorly. No harm, no foul. You shouldn't be excited. But I also understand as a Missouri fan why you would be excited. He's 6'11" and a top 30 portal kid who's only 19 years old. You sign up for that kid every day and twice on Sunday and just take your shot.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I guess the reason I said yesterday why I feel like KU fans are trying to play like both sides of this conversation is I sat here and I heard KU fans say they don't want the Darren Peterson type. You don't appreciate the history. It's a one and done. You're a mercenary. We don't want you. We want to go back to how we used to recruit. Well, how Kansas used to recruit is keeping kids like Bryson Tiller. That's how they used to do. What was Thomas Robinson? Thomas Robinson was a kid that as a freshman didn't really play a whole lot at KU, but certainly showed you. I mean, Thomas Robinson played 7 minutes a night his first year at KU and averaged 2 points a night. He then came back for a sophomore year, back when, you remember, you couldn't just willy-nilly transfer and do whatever you wanted to. If you wanted to transfer, you had to sit out a year. He then doubled his minutes his sophomore year and started to show some improvement. He went from 7 minutes to 14 minutes. He upped his field goal percentage. He went from being a 2-point-per-game guy to an 8-point-per-game guy. KU got him to come back for one more season his junior year, and he's probably one of the 10 best Jayhawks over the last 15 years of basketball for them. Now, again, I'm not telling you that's exactly what Bryson Tiller is going to be, but I'm saying is I've seen enough Kansas basketball to know that Kansas used to be the absolute best at players like Bryson Tiller. They were the absolute best at kids that were ranked 40 through 80 on Rivals, and they would keep them for 3 years, and they would turn out to be All-Americans. Now, can Missouri develop that kind of player? It remains to be seen. But I guess I'm looking at it of how I know Kansas is in trouble is they can't keep kids like Bryson Tiller anymore.
I mean, they
can't keep them anymore.
They can't, but they're not. I guess they can. They're just currently not keeping them. I also think there have been kids at Kansas over time that are Bryson Tiller. A lot of hype. They show up on campus. They struggle their freshman year. They disappear. Like, Thomas Robinson is the one side of the story. They developed him, they brought him up, they groomed him. It worked out great. I can name players who came to Kansas with high recruiting rankings who played a little bit as a freshman, and it just didn't work out. It's not they don't bat 1,000 one way and never miss.
They shoot like 85% when it comes to these kind of kids.
They make more than they miss, but for every Thomas Robinson, I can name an MJ Rice, who was a 4-star, 5-star kid who showed up on campus, played 11 minutes a night and stunk and disappeared. Like that part of the story also exists. So you're right. They are team developed, but it's not like they've kept all their own guys in-house the entire time.
No, you're right, but I'm looking at a guy like Sheck Diallo, for example. If Sheck Diallo would have stayed at Kansas for 2 more years, I think he is in a much better basketball situation than he ended up being. I think he's in a much better basketball situation. And I would say now, because of the way that college basketball is set up, if you're Bryson Tiller, you don't have to now go be a second-round pick who bounces around the G League, who doesn't play, and you can just fade off into basketball obscurity. Now, if you can be a millionaire playing college basketball, if you're Bryson Tiller, you should stay and play as long as you can. If you were like Flory Badunga, we wouldn't have been having this conversation 15 years ago about Flory. You and I both would have been telling Flory, you got to go to the NBA. Your value is never going to be much higher than what it is. You kind of are what you are. You're not going to develop a jump shot. You have to go immediately. But now with the financial structure the way that it is, and that's why I'm just big on, like, Kansas, if Kansas has to be better at keeping these kids because that's what Bill is good at. So sometimes you are just going to overpay for a Flory. Sometimes you're going to overpay for a Bryson Tiller. But I've seen enough Bill self-recruits post-COVID. His best chance and their best chance of getting back to what you are used to, them winning the Big 12, is doing it their way and their style. And their style is not running around and chasing kids in the transfer portal. Their style is not the one-and-done kid who comes in, scores 25 points, and then goes on to be the number 1 overall pick. He is a lot more like Kelvin Sampson than John Calipari in that way. He needs you on campus for 2 to 3 years. You buy into the philosophy. You buy into what it means to be a Jayhawk, and you go on and have great success. They used to excel with kids like Bryson Tiller.
Let me ask you this. I know we're up against the break. If Self only has 1 to 2 years left, because we don't think he's a 3, 4, 5-year coach Kansas anymore, you think he's trying to take shortcuts because he can't be the development guy anymore? There's a chance that when Bryson Tiller's a junior, he's not the coach at Kansas. Like, that's a real possibility. I mean, Bill Self definitely flirted with retirement this offseason. Is it possible that he has to adjust from being the developed guy because he might not be the coach at the end of the development? Like, his time at Kansas could be affecting things more than anything.
No, for sure. And someone says, CDOT, you have to stop acting like it's just easy to keep these kids around. Such a joke. Again, I'm asking the question is, if you are Kansas and you have all the advantages in the world, why is Kansas struggling to keep their employees? Like, no one can answer that question for me. It's just the kids. So we were just saying, despite being the best program in college basketball with the best coach, with the best home court advantage, and they are paying NIL like everybody else is paying NIL, but somehow it's just the kids on why they can't keep them. Like, I feel like we're not holding Kansas basketball program to the, you just should have paid the money for Flory. You just should have paid the money for Bryson Tiller and then built your team around having those guys without having to completely start over. We cannot make it seem like some schools are not keeping their kids, because I just saw Michigan, and the most outstanding player, he could transfer right now. He is deciding to stay at Michigan because that is the best place for him to stay. So I feel like we are just completely removing the schools and them just paying what it costs to keep some of these kids. We're going to talk to the city councilman coming up next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers! It's what you are!
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hello, this is Jason Gudenkoff with Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas, the home of $50 over factory invoice. Since 1979, our $50 over factory invoice pricing has been saving Kansas City Ford buyers thousands of dollars when buying a new Ford. Our no-hassle $50 over invoice pricing has helped us become the #1 F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas. And now, for the 9th time, the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire Kansas City area. At Lewisburg Ford, we understand that price is important, but it doesn't stop there. There's other factors to this equation: trade allowance, financing, and customer satisfaction. We don't just say that we're great at taking care of customers, we actually do it. Ford Motor Company has awarded us with the President's Award 23 times. This is the top honor that they give their Ford dealers for customer satisfaction in sales and in service. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, come see us at Lewisburg Ford. You can reach us at 816-444-2300 or on the web at lewisburgford.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Downtown, you've got the right lane blocked. 70 eastbound, it is just before 11th. Yes, go to the left through here. For 35 westbound as you approach 35, left lane is blocked, and then I continue further down just south of Olathe. Yep, crash still in the works. 35 northbound, it's the on-ramp from 151st, and a lot of onlooker delay. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at The Fan 965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, so let me give you a little bit of an update. I actually want to put a bow on the Kansas conversation that we were having here while this thought is still in my mind. So according to ESPN, the Packers, they are trading Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2026 fifth-round pick and a sixth-round pick in next year's NFL draft. Dontavian Wicks is also going to sign a one-year, $12 million extension with Philadelphia. And then there's an update from Adam Schefter. The Eagles are trading away this year's fifth-round pick that they picked up from the Eagles, and they also have two sixth-round pick next year. So, I mean, this is almost kind of like a free roll, honestly, for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's somebody else's fifth-round pick, and they have two sixth-round pick next year, and you get – I think Wicks is a pretty decent receiver. I would have liked the Chiefs to be in on this. Now, I understand why the Chiefs just don't want to mortgage a lot of picks right now and why they want to keep them and draft their own players. But, I mean, having Wicks come in as like a third option at wide receiver, I actually don't think would have been that bad of a move. I like this move for Philadelphia. I think this is a good trade.
I would have liked the Chiefs to be in on this Dontavian Wicks move. I don't think Dontavian Wicks is a star, but I think – who would you rather have, Dontavian Wicks on that contract or Tyquan Thornton on his contract? Because I think I'd rather have Wicks.
Wicks is a much better receiver.
100%. And it's a one-year prove-it deal, and maybe Thornton proves he's better in 1 year. But I would much rather have Wicks on that deal for a fifth or a sixth.
Way better, pick. I think, is pushing it. I think Wicks has a higher ceiling. Is maybe a better way.
I think he's been more productive too. I bet Wicks has been a lot more productive than Thornton in his NFL career. I'd be pretty surprised if it works the other direction.
I'm going back and forth with this guy, and I guess this would be my question. I'm kind of curious in this regard. So he just tweeted this out. Everybody is having trouble keeping kids. Are you looking at the portal? Michigan is a one-off example. This would be my question, though, when it comes to the portal and with the Kansas. If you were telling me that it's solely about money, why is Kansas then willing to spend so much money for other recruits who are hitting the transfer portal for more money, but not willing to then take that money and use it on their own players? Because I would guess, kind of like how most businesses work, if you are somebody that transfers out, they don't maybe necessarily want you. Like the guy gives a couple of examples. Now, these are the guys who have transferred out of Duke. Jeremy Roach, Mark Mitchell, Sean Stewart, TJ Power, Jalen Blakes, Jaden Shuttle. I'm guessing that Duke could have kept these players if they wanted to and then made the decision of, no, we're good. We're just going to go in a completely different direction. I like Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell cannot shoot. He cannot shoot. So I think that Duke is just simply looking at it from a, hey, we think he's a really good player, but we think we can find something pretty comparable at a pretty good price. Like, I think the business side is working for both of these ones, but you can't tell me that all of these kids are transferring for money, but Kansas is now willing to pay this other transfer for money, but that same money they could go to now go get St. John's transfer, they couldn't just pay that on money to keep the kid that they've been recruiting now for 3 years.
I think both you and the texter can be right. I don't think it's 100% that KU is just shocked that these kids are leaving. I'm betting KU has a grander plan. Whether it comes to fruition, I don't know, and might be pushing some of these kids out. I don't know about Tiller specifically. I don't know about Florida, but I'm betting there is a wave of these kids at Kansas that KU is saying, thanks, but no thanks. We'd rather save the money and go get player X. I know they have a kid on campus from, I believe, Robert Morris, who's supposedly a sharpshooter coming up. We'd rather spend it on that kid than you. That definitely happens. But to your point, there are definitely times where KU probably should pony up to keep their own rather than keep chasing the microwave quick fix problem in the portal. I do think Self's lack of long-term future is playing a part in all of this because I think after the Hunter Dickinson era, I thought he kind of wanted to get away from
I don't think Bill
chasing.
is good at this. At this portion of it. I think Bill, like most people, I think Bill has some incredible strengths. I don't think that Bill is good at this portion of college basketball. And I think we got 4 years of evidence that this is not how he has the most amount of success. I think we have 15 years of examples of what Bill is maybe the best at in college basketball. And now that the rules are starting to shift, he is not that great at this. He's really not that great at this.
This is why he needs a GM.
Well, it don't matter now. You're only going to be there for 8 more months. He ain't going to be there that much longer.
Just conceptually, but yes, you're right. That time is not working in his favor.
Like, I just think that all of it just – I think there are completely different skills that people have. And I think you know what Bill's skills are. But that's why I said yesterday, if you were telling me that Kansas is playing, if you were telling me that KU fans are holding them to, we only care about winning the league, we only care about winning the tournament and making deep runs, and with all the information I have about Bill Self, their team is going to be freshmen and transfers, that team ain't reaching none of the goals that you have set for Kansas basketball. Not any of them. Not a single one of those goals. If you're telling me that that's the kind of team they're fielding, and I don't know what other team they could possibly field. They don't have anybody returning. It's going to be incoming freshmen and transfers this year.
Cole Rosario's still out there.
Okay.
Corbin Allen, at last check, he ain't playing, but I mean,
if Cole Rosario is starting for this year's Kansas team, they have done a terrible job of recruiting.
It would be surprising if Cole Rosario starts.
They've done a terrible job. Honestly, they've done a terrible job.
I don't let's go off like I think Bill Self's great at the portal. I think he's better than you're saying he is. I mean, Melvin Council and Trey White were good finds in the portal. Those were good players for Kansas.
Rob, they've never made the second weekend in the portal era.
That's not even true. Remy Martin and then won a national title.
That was not the portal. That was not the.
That was definitely the portal era.
No, that team had one transfer.
That's not even true either. They had 3 other transfers.
No, I'm talking about guys that play. They had one transfer on that team. That was your traditional Kansas team. That was Christian Brown who played there. That team would not exist today. Christian Brown played his entire career at Kansas. Jalen Wilson played his entire year at Kansas. Ochai played forced. That does not exist anymore in college basketball. It changed that quickly. That was not the portal era. They were paying kids there, but the portal era now is you got to expect to turn over half your roster every single year. They have not had your level of success in the portal era where it is true free agency. That starts with Hunter Dickinson. That's when the portal era starts because you remember when Hunter was available. We were talking about how he was the best player to ever hit the transfer portal, and the fact that Kansas got him was a really, really big deal. And then that coincided with the worst stretch of Bill Self's time at Kansas, right when Hunter Dickinson got there, and they have continued to be in there, even though Hunter is gone.
Does the Kevin McCullough era count as the portal? Because they brought Kevin McCullough in, and then they won the league. Now, they lost the second round, mostly because Bill Self had a heart attack and did not coach in the second round. But Kev McCullough was a transfer from Tech. He came in 2023. They won the league. Now, they then went to Dickinson in 2024. But in 2023, if that's the portal era, they won the league that season. That happened.
Yeah, you're right. And then they lost in the second round of the tournament.
Again, well, that's partly because their coach had a heart attack. The portal didn't give him a heart attack. Salty Iguana did. That's what happened.
Are you confident going into the season?
They don't have a roster right now. I can't be confident.
But I'm saying, you know who's available in the portal.
Yes, I'm confident.
There is nobody that is going to shock you. You and I both follow this. There's nobody that's going to shock you in the portal that's not. All the really good players are in the portal by now.
I am confident. Mostly because I think Tay Kinney and Tyron Stokes is a really good start. You got 2 top 15 kids, and I know Stokes hadn't committed yet. If you got 2 top 15 kids, I feel pretty good.
Okay.
The last time a team had 2 top 15 kids was probably Canapel and Cooper Flagg.
You think Tyron Stokes is Cooper Flagg?
I'm just naming a team that had 2 top 15 recruits.
Okay, yeah, you think he's Cooper Flagg? If you think he's that, yeah, they're fixing all the problems. Kansas has never had Cooper Flagg.
No, they've never had Cooper Flagg.
Now, they've had Cooper Flagg hype. I mean, that's what Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be, and then he got hurt. That's what MB was, but they've never had Cooper Flagg.
If Tyron Stokes is Darius Acuff, then I feel really good.
It could be that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to think.
And if that's their starting point, and let's say
you think that Kansas is going to let Tyron Stokes cook where he can be Darius Acuff?
He's not the volume shot guy that Acuff is, so it's not like a great 1-for-1. He's more of a distributor, kind of do everything type of player. But yes, I think if the keys to Kansas next year with 2 top 15 high school recruits, I trust Bill Self to build around those kids.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by someone who is a part of the Kansas City Council. There's certainly a lot of things to talk to him about, as there is going to be a vote to get this bill passed about the money that has been earmarked for the stadium. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Downtown, you've got the right lane blocked. 70 eastbound, it is just before 11th. Yes, go to the left through here. For 35 westbound, as you approach 35, left lane is blocked, and then I continue further down just south of Olathe. Yep, crash still in the works. 35 northbound, it's the on-ramp from 151st, and a lot of onlooker delay. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another shot. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or even make a big, bold prediction. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. For this week's big tournament, I have my eye on Patrick Reed. He has performed well in this before, and he's plus 3,000. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. Like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they want to make sure that your business is inviting, that it's safe, and that, of course, your project is cost-effective, because they want to make sure that you're ready and that your business is ready before the world comes here. That's all possible over at Gann, who can handle any type of project your parking lot would need. That's because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. Check out their projects at GannAsphalt.com or give them a call at 816-688-3512.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park and Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park and Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family-owned, customer-approved.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Nathan Willett. He is with the Kansas City City Council. Want to get his thoughts on all the news that has come out over the last 24 hours or so. Nathan, happy to have you join us on the show today.
Yeah, good afternoon. Happy Friday.
Absolutely. So a lot to get your opinion on. Happy to have you on. So we reached out because I saw you had a post of a statement that you released for people that didn't get a chance to read your statement. What is your feeling? What's your early thoughts on everything that's happening with the downtown stadium proposal?
Yeah, well, first off, yesterday was the first time that I was able to see a paper copy of it. Obviously, it's been talked about in terms of concepts for quite a while. And I'll be honest with you, we have a new city manager, Mario Vasquez, who's a very confident 30-year employee at the city government level who's done lots of major projects throughout his time here, and I have full trust and faith in him to put together a good, decent plan. So I just want people to know that this is not necessarily, necessarily a full-on mayor-driven thing, but we have very good city employees who can put some things together. But me, as a representative of my constituents, when I campaigned for city council back in 2023, I believe it should be up to the people to be able to decide whether this proposal makes sense or not. Lots has changed since the first vote. Now you have the Show Me Sports Act that passed, so you have the state of Missouri committing hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in Kansas City. I believe if you put something on the ballot, you can make a very, very clear case to some people who may like it. But I'm not getting ahead of this. This should be we should have good political process here. And another aspect of it, I do want to make sure that Korean War Memorial that's in Washington Square Park, we have to have a good place to put that has a good public and accessible area for our veterans. and also has a great scenic area as well.
Do you think this would pass if it hit the public vote?
I think it's all about how you communicate on it. I think certain folks are shy of a vote because of how horrible that last campaign was done. But let's look at some other examples that we have in the region. The Kansas City Airport, when they did the new airport terminal, the first vote of that failed, and then it went back to the drawing board, and we had focus groups and talked about it with individuals, and they were able to come out with a more successful campaign. But this is something that, they're looking at different mechanisms. I don't think this is going to be a massive star bond district like you see in Kansas. This is going to be something that's a little bit more, I think, tailored to downtown. But I want to make sure, I ran for city council to support our police and firefighters. I want to make sure that there's zero tax dollars that are going to be coming out of the police and fire budget in order for us to now, we're going to have a huge asset that's going to need a lot of first responders supporting it downtown.
Right now, we're talking to Nathan Willett. He is a city councilman for Kansas City, Missouri. He wrote a public statement that said public feedback is crucial before voting on any stadium proposal. I did not join my other colleagues in sponsoring the proposed legislation. Any proposal should be approved by the taxpayers of Kansas City. In the meantime, I will make sure the details of the proposal do not harm police and fire budgets. All of that seems well within reason. Where is this $600 million coming from? I think a lot of people have that question.
I think that is a great question, and I hope to learn more about it as well. And so, like I said, I saw that proposal yesterday. I'm not going to put my name on something unless I fully understand it and can fully get behind something. And this is something that I already believe in principle should be voted on by the people. But I think that, obviously, we're Royals fans here, right? We're all excited about the proposition of this. And I think it is up to the folks who want to get this done to communicate with all stakeholders, including the taxpayers, on this and make a good case of it. It shouldn't just be rubber stamped. It shouldn't be something where you pass it without even looking at it and reading it. And trust me, I've had a lot of my friends and some family members who are like, come on, buddy, just go and do it. Just get it done. And that's nice and wonderful, but I'm here to represent 90,000 constituents on the city council, and they're wanting to have their voices heard in this. As much as a childhood Royals fan, would love to see, we want to see them to stay in the state of Missouri, but it's going to be something that the constituents and taxpayers need to weigh in on.
Are you expecting this vote to pass whenever it goes to the floor? I believe it's on Thursday, right? I believe it is city council is going to vote on this proposal on Thursday. Are you expecting it to go through, or do you think there's a chance of any opposition?
Yeah, so for City Hall, you need 7 votes of the 13 members. So there's 12 council members, and then you have the mayor. So we all have a vote. And so as long as you have 7 votes, it will go through. You saw in the press release that they had 9 co-sponsors. So that can indicate that there's already a majority of folks who are going to go ahead and support this when it comes to next week. But there has been times where you do have things that are sponsored by that many people that we slow down the process and try to get some things right. Normally, I'm always the one voting against those types of things. But in this one, I do want to communicate that, we want to see the Royals in our region and for generations to come. But I also believe that the taxpayers and the constituents should have full transparency on this and should have a say in it.
Right now, we're talking to Nathan Willett here for a couple more minutes. He is with the Kansas City City Council, just getting his thoughts on the bill that was proposed yesterday in funding for the downtown stadium. Do you think that the announcement of this was coordinated after the passing of the 1% sales tax earnings tax?
Yeah, I think that they were just trying to do a message based on traditional before the 1% earnings tax. And so that's kind of why you didn't see me be rah-rah about that either. But obviously you need to protect pensions for both police officers and firefighters out there. And I want to make sure that this proposal does not harm that. I do think that there is definitely a delay on that. But also maybe they needed that new City Connect uniforms before they could announce a new stadium. Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe that's what it was. I certainly hope that wasn't the case, because those jerseys are not good enough to delay a stadium news.
Yeah. But have you bought any of the merch online yet?
No,
what have you gotten so far?
I actually don't have any plan to buy any of that merch. One thing I never think I need in my life is a purple Royals hat.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that.
Right now, we're talking to Nathan Willett here for a couple of more minutes. What do you think the next 7 days look like for you? What do you think the next 7 days look like with this bill?
Yeah, I think it's about engaging the public, having good political process. Like I said, I'm going to be focused on things that I think I can control. Obviously, this probably will pass without me, whether they agree that it should go to a public vote or not. I'm going to make sure that we make sure that the Korean War Memorial that's currently at Washington Square Park deserves a respect, and it deserves a great area within our city. I'm even looking at places up in the Northland to relocate it and give it new life and attention. We got to respect what is already around that area, and I don't think that we need to, if you're not asking questions like that, what are we going to do about this, what are we going to do about that, and just rubber stamp it, I think you can make some mistakes.
Are you planning on voting yes or no?
I'm planning on listening to constituents on this, and like I said, I have 90,000 constituents. I have many friends and family members who are very excited about it, but they're not the ones who elected me. The people in the Northland did, and it's my duty to listen to them before voting on this, and I do believe that they should be able to vote on this at the ballot box.
Which way are you leaning voting? Are you leaning on voting yes or no?
I am not. I have to talk to my constituents. I plan, and I want to ask for this to be voted on by the people.
That is Nathan Willett joining us on the show. He's with the Kansas City City Council, and they have a vote coming up next week about the proposed bill to help fund the downtown stadium. Nathan, happy to have you on the show today, my man. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, and go Royals.
Absolutely. That is Nathan Willett joining us on the show. I'm going to assume that right now he is voting no. Just going to go out on that assumption. I think he basically told you without telling you there. They need 7 out of 13 people to vote on this thing. They had 9 people's name in the document. All safe to say that they are on the same page. And if you were not on that docket yesterday, then they don't need your vote one way or the other. They are passing this thing through because that's the way government works. That's how I read that.
That's how I heard it as well. I also think, and his statement is not one that is unique to him. There are a lot of people who I think feel a little bit of a way today that the city is circumventing a public vote again.
They've been telling, I'm not saying you were wrong.
I agree.
They have been publicly telling you we are going to do this for 2 years. They have been telling you.
If we're being honest.
Every time the mayor has come on here, we have specifically asked him, do you guys need a public vote? Where is this money going to come from? They say what you want about Mayor Quinn Lucas. Every interview that he has had on this show, they did exactly what he said he was going to do. Literally everything he said. We don't need a public vote. We're going to pass this money through Parks and Rec. We already have the deal. We're just figuring out all of the information. And when we have news, we'll bring it to you. They have the news. No disrespect to Nathan Willett. They do not need his vote. He just told you. They need 13 people. It's 13 people. They need 7 votes so they can have a majority. 9 people signed the press release. Those 9 people are voting in one direction. This is done. So he can go talk to whatever constituents that he wants to. And all the questions, you should absolutely ask those questions. This decision was made. It was made. It's over for him. It's over.
I get that's what's happening. And I agree. The mayor has been pretty outspoken about they can do this. They don't need a public vote. I think people like Nathan Willett, and I don't know, he's the majority, he might be the minority, I don't know. But reading our text line yesterday and listening to him talk today and kind of perusing social media to get a sense of how fans feel, there is a portion of Royals fans and people in Kansas City, Missouri that feel a little bit of a way that the city just circumvented the vote. And I also think one of the reasons they feel that way is, and maybe I'm taking what too many news people on this show have said, but what is the one common thing we've heard from, Matt Evans to John Ketz to Charlie Keegan to Chris Ketz who come on the show? They all say, man, the Royals don't want to get embarrassed in the ballot box again. They don't want a public vote. So it feels like the city did the Royals a solid by protecting them from a public vote, which if I was a resident who didn't want Washington Square Park baseball, I would feel like my city cozied up to the baseball team more so than me, a constituent.
Yeah, and I know we say this every time. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to do that. The billionaire baseball team has been telling you for years what their plan is. They have never wavered from what their plan is. They wanted downtown baseball. Now, we all live in America. We all live in the real world. If the guy who spent $1 billion to buy the team has been publicly and privately pushing for this, if he is coming in with some of his own money, he is coming in with money from his own constituents, we thought that person was going to lose? I'm asking honestly. We thought that person was going to lose. We watched the same news. We all rep the same smart tech. We thought the billionaire that came in and bought the team, that told you where he wanted the team to be and has been behind the scenes pooling money together, getting Mahomes and Eric Stone Street and all of these engineers. We thought that person was about to lose, because I don't think that person was going to lose. Not for a long term. No, they were not about to lose. They won. They got exactly what they wanted. This is better than the proposal that they had before. This is better. What's better for the Royals? Is it better that they got that 3/8 of a cent sales tax that was going to face heavy public opposition
that they had to share with the Chiefs,
that they would have had to share with Kansas City? Honestly, what's better for the Royals? I know it doesn't look like it, but the Royals won. We can look it up right now. How much do they get from the 3/8 of a cent sales tax every single year? How much do they get over the life of it? They got double that amount of money just committed to them for this project. And that's not even counting the money that they're going to get from the state. They won. They're not tearing down anybody's house. They're not building over anybody's business. The city is going to give them that land right in the heart of the city. They expanded the streetcar basically for the Royals. They have been planning this thing for years. They have been planning this. Now, I don't think the Royals planned on looking as goofy at the ballot as they ultimately ended up looking. But now that we've seen things play itself out, the deal that the Royals are about to agree to is far better than the one that they were offered 2 years ago. They won. In a shock in life, the billionaire John Sherman beat you. He beat you. He got your money without needing your permission to get your money. You told him no the first time, and then behind closed doors, he got your money a different way. And he got more money from you than you were going to give to him the first time. They won. They beat us. Like, I don't know what to tell you. America happened. That's what happened. We were just talking about America with college basketball, how capitalism is happening. America continues to happen. The rich people got what they wanted, and they got the poor people to pay for it. That's what happened here. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
In a field of thousands, one has emerged. Back from the brink, now poised to take its rightful place amongst the greatest lawns of all time. It's the birth of a true turf champion, and a story that will live on at summer barbecues and in neighborhood group chats for all time. Your lawn is back, baby, and it's Weedman for the win. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get 1 free service.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Ford has announced $399 payments on Mustang, Bronco Sports, and Mavericks. $499 payments on Broncos, Explorers, Rangers, or an F-150. And only Shawnee Mission Ford offers a $500 gas card on top of those low payments. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Starting to see a little bit of a backup through Lee Summit. 470 southbound. The wreck is just past 291 highway, and it is the left lane blocked. The crash should be clean here any minute now. They're telling us 35 northbound, the on-ramp from 151st. It's really a lot of onlooker delay, but it'll be gone soon. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
We'll get to the NFL draft here coming up in a bit. I want to wrap up our conversation we were just having with Nathan Willett. He is a city councilman. They have a vote coming up next week if they're going to pass the proposed stadium funding bill or not. They don't really need his vote. He told us there are 13 members of the city council. They need 7, so they need a majority to be able to pass it. They know for sure they have 9 people. They all put their name on the press release. This is a foregone conclusion. Kansas City is passing this thing. A couple of things, though, before we move on to the draft. The first thing is, I actually did not know this, and I mean absolutely zero disrespect. Rob, did you know that there was a Korean War memorial that was inside Washington Square Park? I did not know this. This is not a part of the city that I'm just walking around in. I actually did not know this until yesterday when I was doing some more reading on it, and people were asking, what are you going to do with the memorial? Where are they going to move it? I do think that is a question that needs to be answered in all of this. I did not know that was there until yesterday.
Maybe this is like total ignorance by me, and that's fine. I had no idea until Nathan Willett mentioned it. Like, I don't think I've ever walked around in that park.
I never have, not once in my life.
And maybe it's because, and I know it's called a park, but like when I envision a park, I don't envision Washington Square
It's
Park.
just green space.
It's like a square block.
For sure.
Like, I've been to Crown Center, which is right there. I've been to that Westin. I've gone in there.
I've been to
Crown
know
Center.
why, if you don't live down there, like that feels like a place to me. I'm just, from somebody who lives downtown. The only reason I think you would be over there is if you live in one of the buildings that is surrounding it and you are walking your dog or just want a place to get outside, stretch your legs. You don't want your kid to be in the house. Like, there's not really a playground over there. There's not really anything to do over there. It's just green space.
And part of that space where the stadium's going to go is a parking lot for a vacant building now.
Yeah.
So, like, I did not know there's a Korean War Memorial in that park because I didn't know anything was in that park other than a sidewalk. Like, maybe I've been in that park to walk from Crown Center to Union Station or vice versa, but I don't think as an adult I've ever made a point to be in there.
I mean, I do think that this is a question that needs to be answered. I certainly understand it. Like, I'm on the website right now. The Missouri Korean War Veterans Memorial is located in Kansas City, Missouri. It is the official memorial for the state. There were 900 people from Missouri that lost their lives in this. That absolutely is history worth preserving. And having the conversation about what are we going to do with this, where are we going to move it to, where's the correct and proper place to put it to is certainly a conversation that the city council needs to have. But I honestly, I did not know this was there until yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of works a little bit of both ways here. That does need to definitely go somewhere. It's an important thing that should honor history. I also would tell you, maybe they should have done a better job of advertising it exists before, and people like me and you would have been inside the park. So wherever they end up putting it, they need to advertise it's at the new space, wherever that space may be.
I'm just going to guess based on the demographic of the park, there's not really anything they could have done that would get you to go visit that park.
No, but if I knew it existed, that would be a step in the right direction. Like, there are things around town that I know exist that I'm not like, ooh, itching to go see, but I know they exist. Like, have you ever seen the Scout, like, in real life?
I have.
I've seen it once, but like as an adult, you're not like, let's go see the Scout.
I saw it so much on Sunday Night Football. I just wanted to see it in real life. I wanted to see it. So no, I actually have seen it. I did look this up as well because I made the point that ultimately the Royals won. For all of the laughing that we did at the Royals and how they were unprepared and they didn't get all of these things done, ultimately, financially, this is a much better situation for them than before. So I looked this up as quick as I could. Back in 2022, I'd have to assume that this is close to the number. In 2022, the 3/8 of a cent sales tax that everybody pays in Jackson County for sales tax. So if you buy something in Jackson County, you have paid towards the stadium. That tax generated $48.6 million back in 2022. So maybe it's a little bit more now because things cost more, wherever it is. But it generated, 4 years ago, it generated almost $50 million. You then had to split that between the Chiefs and the Royals. You no longer have to split that because the Chiefs are about to move. This tax also expires in 2031, and the Royals just got $600 million. So, I mean, I ain't the best at math, but if they just got $600 million and they were bringing in $25 million a year, basically, when it comes to this, they came out way ahead financially by that vote not passing. We talk about leverage. This was leverage. If you want us to stay and you want us in downtown Kansas City, what are you offering us? And it is obvious that they have been trying to come up with this money and they have been moving things around. They gave up on the Kansas location, what was it, about 90 days ago. Remember, there was that week stretch where everybody else started bowing out. That's when we should have known right then and there. They were getting real close to having this thing figured out. When the Royals released the statement, said they were done talking to 119th and all, that one guy in Clay County was telling everybody, we're not talking to the Royals anymore. We should have known quietly that that Kansas City was getting their money together that ultimately led to today. They came up with $600 million to give them.
Similar to how we talk on this show about we should have seen the breadcrumbs with the Chiefs to Kansas. Like, the Chiefs have been telling us for a while they were going to Kansas. I think people refuse to listen. I think the same thing was happening here. The Royals were telling us we're going to be in downtown, We just kind of weren't listening.
So I was listening to him. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I never wavered with downtown Kansas City. I've always been on downtown. I held Washington Square Park down.
There were other sites that popped up around downtown that have also been discussed that were frustrating to deal with.
No, I never wavered. Not once. I wavered with the Chiefs. The Chiefs
you
played
wavered.
me. The Chiefs played me. They really did.
They
really had me thinking, like, oh, man, Clark wouldn't do that to his dad's legacy and his dad's memory. Man, he packed that up so quick. Hey, man, we got to move over here. They packed that thing up. They're not taking anything from Arrowhead over there. They're about to get all new everything. They're about to get all new Lombardi trophies. They're about to have the commissioner make up some new ones. We're not bringing anything from this old building over there. To hell with this building. They're not taking nothing over there. They can't wait to move out of that place.
You never wavered on downtown. I never wavered. Hey, the Chiefs are going to Kansas. Like, I saw the vision.
You think I'm joking? I'm telling you. The Chiefs, they're not bringing a single thing from old Arrowhead over there. Not a single thing.
That's not true. The most expensive season ticket holders are welcome to come over.
Not a jersey. They're getting all new cheerleaders. They haven't washed that KC Wolf outfit since Lynn Dawson was alive. They about to get a brand new suit for this. I'm telling you, the Chiefs are going to act unrecognizable once they get over to Kansas. They're going to be a completely newer. You're not going to be able to recognize them. You're not going to be able to recognize them once they go over to Kansas. All right, let me play a couple of pieces of audio for you guys. Let me play this first one. This is Ian Rappaport. There's been a lot of conversation about Ruben Bain. Here's Ian Rappaport.
For me, I have my eyes on Ruben Bain, one of the top pass rushers in this draft. No doubt talented. I know a lot of people love his film, and certainly it's fair to say there are questions mostly about his short arms, which sounds familiar. It's exactly what we did with Will Campbell last year. Ended up going number 4 overall. But Bain is an interesting one for me, guys, because let's just say in this scenario that he gets to, let's say, 6 or maybe 7. I know there's some teams up around 10. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, you have the Saints at 8, you have the Dallas Cowboys a little after that, who have done all the homework on edge rushers, who have a need at edge rusher to try to get an impact player in the defense. Is Ruben Bain the center of some trade talks, and do we actually see Bain be the subject of the first trade in the top 10? For me, this isn't a question of when he is going to go. He is going to go in 1. He is going to be a top 15 pick. It's really just, does someone absolutely need him where they decide to trade up for him?
Maybe I am buying into the smoke. We are less than 2 weeks away from having this answer. So if you were tired of mock drafts, we're almost there. I promise you, we are almost there. I'm starting to buy the smoke that these two players are going to go a little bit sooner than we think. I think number 1 is Carnell Tate. I think Carnell Tate can go in the top 5. I would say number 2 is Ruben Bain. If you are the Chiefs and you want to ensure that you go get Ruben Bain, I do not think you can wait at 9. I don't think he's falling to 9. Either a team already ahead of you is going to do it, or there is going to be a team that knows that Kansas City will not hesitate to take Ruben Bain, and they will jump in front of you and trade with New Orleans and get the 8th overall pick and draft Ruben Bain. I think you will have to be proactive to go get him. I don't think they're going to move up to go get Bailey because it's going to be too expensive. I don't think they're getting Arvell Reese either. Sonny Styles doesn't make a lot of sense to me in Kansas City. I also think he's going to be off the board by the time that Kansas City gets there. Bain is an interesting one. I think that Bain, his range is somewhere between 5 to 9. It's somewhere between 5 to 9. I don't think he's going to fall to Kansas City at 9, but that's reading my drafts. I could end up being wrong. If you want to be 100% certain that you have him, I think you have to be ready to trade up to 7.
Is there a possibility? Now, let me tell you something. The last 2 weeks before the draft are long. I feel like we get 700 mock drafts. We get 500 reports. But let me just play out this scenario. Do you think there's a chance the Chiefs get the bad side of the Trent McDuffie deal? Because you'll remember, when it was them drafting Trent McDuffie, they leapfrogged the Bills. We now know the Bills wanted corner. The Bills were looking to bolster their secondary. They probably wanted the best corner available, which was Trent McDuffie. The Chiefs used their assets, jumped ahead of the Bills, took Trent McDuffie. Is there a world on Thursday, April 23rd, where the Cowboys, who need pass rush because they traded away the best one in the NFL, perhaps, to the Packers, are leapfrogging the Chiefs to get to 6 or 7 and get Ruben Bain? Is there a chance that we're at the Brooksider that night and we're watching the draft and we're hanging out and the little, breaking news alert hits the bottom and the Cowboys have leapt the Chiefs to go get Ruben Bain? I think that is a very good likelihood.
I agree with that.
So the Chiefs better be prepared, because you cannot have what happened to the Bills happen to you. Because remember, the Bills then drafted Kyer Elam, who, ironically enough, is now a Chief, and it was a disaster. The Chiefs can't get left by the Cowboys and then be left just, dangling in the wind with a plan at 9.
I think it's really twofold. Is the Chiefs draft philosophy Bain no matter what, or best player available no matter what? If their plan is we are not leaving Pittsburgh without Ruben Bain in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform, then you have to be willing to leverage and move up to go get him. You have to be willing to do it. The moment you get the inkling, hey, we're not ready to chance it anymore. For example, I think we all have been in this situation. Have you ever been wanting to go to a show or a sporting event or a concert or something, and you were sitting there and you're looking at StubHub and you were just monitoring this thing, and you are afraid that the price is going to go up? Maybe it goes down, but you don't want to run that risk. You're going to lock in that price right now because that is a price that you can live with. That's the analogy I'll make for Ruben Bain. So if he's sitting there at 7 and you're starting to get itchy and you're starting to get nervous and you don't know what this team's going to do, but you know this is the guy that you want, you got to be willing to trade up to go get him. Or if it's best player available no matter what, you keep all your draft picks. Maybe Bain's off the board. Maybe Bailey's off the board. Maybe this guy is. And you really like Mansour Delane, and you take him. You really like the right tackle, so you take him. You really like Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver out of Arizona State, so you take him. So I don't know if we can answer this until 2 weeks from now, whenever we officially get the answer. But is the Chiefs draft philosophy Ruben Bain no matter what, or we're happy to let the board fall to us and we'll take the best player available at 9 and trust that we're going to get a good player?
It's a great question. Can we use past examples to maybe predict the future, though? Because I would tell you, even though Brett Veach, and I don't know when his pre-draft press conference is, but I promise he's going to tell us they always look for best player available. Like that, I can tell you right now what Brett's going to say in that press conference. We look for best player available. Does he actually ever do that, or does he take best player available at a position of need? Because I'm looking back at recent first-round picks. Last year, do you think they took the best player available, or was the best player at a position of need?
I think it's different at 29, 30 than it is in the top 10.
Because I would say the year before that, it's Xavier Worthy. Remember, they're on the heels of, for all the right reasons, cutting MVS. Was Xavier Worthy the best player available, or was he the best player available at a position of need? Again, if you want to tell me late in the draft, that's fine. But we can go through draft after draft where it feels like Brett Veach is picking the best player on his board at a position of need. You'll remember after the Super Bowl, the COVID draft, we all hated the COVID draft. It wasn't just best player available, even though they were preaching that. It was what they deemed the top running back because they felt like they needed a running back. I think often in the first round, Brett Veach will tell you his best player available, but then tends to take the best player at a position of need. So if we get to 9, you and I both know that edge rush and wide receiver are positions of need. He might be able to get one or the other. But if it's true best player available, they would take Caleb Downs, right? I think we know what Brett Veach is kind of going to do at 9 in that world.
I disagree a little bit, and this is why. I think the Chiefs have always drafted from a position of power. The Chiefs one year had a first-round pick. They drafted him and then came out and said he's a redshirt. Your philosophy going into the draft is a lot different if that's the case. Everybody over there at One Arrowhead Drive needs to be feeling the pressure. I'm not saying that guys are on the hot seat, but if the 2026 Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, they're doing more than just, we're not bringing back our offensive coordinator. You're telling me in back-to-back seasons with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you missed the postseason? So everybody in that scouting department should be feeling some amount of pressure, especially given the fact they traded an all-pro corner to put themselves in the position that they are on where now they got 9 picks. There's only 4 teams in the NFL with more picks than they do, and they got 2 first-round picks. They need to be feeling the pressure to swing big when it comes to this. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if we can answer the question one way or the other. Is it Bain no matter what, or is it just position of need, taking best case scenario or whatever it is when it comes to that? But what I do know is they need to know that they need to take an impact player that needs to start from day one. and at least for me, I can't answer for how anybody else is going to evaluate it. If whoever they draft at the number 9 pick, or if they move up to go get Ruben Bain, I don't want to be having the conversation in week 7 about, oh, he's a rookie. Nah, man. You traded 9 and 47 to go move up in the NFL draft to go get this guy. I don't want to hear how it's going to take a year for him to be able to help. No. He needs to be a day 1 starter and a day 1 contributor for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Maybe this is only the standard I will hold the Chiefs to, and that's fine. They need to come out of this draft with multiple starters, and both their first-round pick need to be starters. I'm not playing. You're right. We're on the same page with the 9th pick. If they trade up to get 7, whatever. Whoever the 9th pick is, me and you are holding the standard of that guy's a starter. At 29, it can't be a project. At 40, it can't be a project. You have 3 top 50 picks. You can't walk away with, hey, we found a guy, but in a year, watch out. No. You need to go into this draft, and maybe we're saying the same thing, it's just semantics. You need to walk into this draft with the mindset, we're leaving the same way we left after the 2022 draft. Because that draft changed the trajectory of the organization. They walked away with multiple starters, including a star at cornerback. They walked away with a haul in 2022. Maybe you can't do that, but you got to go in with that's our goal energy. It can't be we got a good player at 9 and then we're figuring it out from there.
I guess I also would say this, and I know that you and I are a little bit different. Like I won't have the problem that some people will have if they take a tackle, but we don't have to argue about that anymore. A lot of the things that the Chiefs have needs that you would say, like, this is their need, are the most expensive things to now answer in the NFL. Like, we think wide receiver is a day 1 need, right? Like, you want them to go get a wide receiver. It is the 2nd highest franchise tag right now in the National Football League behind quarterback. Quarterback is a $43 million franchise tag. Wide receiver is now $27.2 million. Rush end, so a guy that can get after the quarterback, that's a $25 million franchise tag. Cornerback, a $20 million franchise tag. So, like, a lot of these positions that we would deem to be positions of need for Kansas City, they are now at some of the most important positions on the field, and they are some of the most expensive positions on the field. So that's what I'm saying is we might disagree on take a right tackle here. Like, they need future foundational pieces. And I made this point a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember when it was. Like, there are not a lot of foundational pieces, guys, that on this team under the age of 25. That's what they need to get back to. When the Chiefs were the best team in the National Football League, and we looked at them as having the best roster, that's when Creed Humphrey was 23, and Trey Smith was 22, and Nick Bolton was 24, and Trent McDuffie. They had a group of star players, all 25 and under. I don't know if they have one right now on their roster that you would say that's what they really need in this draft class. 2 years from now, we need to look and say, hey, they got 3 Pro Bowlers from this draft class. They got an All-Pro from this class. We look at this guy as being the best player at his position at a premium position. That's what they desperately need coming out of this draft class. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll reset things and get you ready for the weekend. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Spring is here, and the first golf major of the season is here, and there's no better way than celebrate with our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel has your back with the special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament gets going, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick, take a big chance, or make a bold prediction as we are celebrating the first major tournament of the golf season, and you know you want to be a part of it. Are you taking somebody to win it all? Well, go for it. Do you like somebody for a top 5 finish? Well, you can lock it in with confidence because if it doesn't hit, you got that mulligan in your back pocket locked and ready to go. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Warmer weather, longer days, and a juicy steak sizzling on the fire. Ah, smells like grilling season is here. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Choose bacon-wrapped chicken grillers for $3.99 each. Marinated chicken breasts $1.99. Thick cut pork chops, 3 for $5, and specialty brats, just 8 for $10. Don't forget your favorite marinade, rubs, and sauces, and fire up the grill this Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee makes our life easier every single day. Not only do they have great quality customer service and value every single day at Hy-Vee, they help us out and they take the pressure of shopping off our plate. We've got our Perks Plus membership. We upgraded from the regular Hy-Vee Perks membership because with Perks Plus, we get free grocery delivery or express pickup, plus even more exclusive benefits and savings like fuel saver deals all day long. So enroll today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Only at Hy-Vee.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army's Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this, and we've got the crash that is still underway, 291 Highway, southbound past 470. You got to scoot to the left through here to get through here. 2 right lanes are blocked, 291 Highway, southbound past 470. Then we've got the crash 70 eastbound at 635. Left lane is blocked. Downward traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Can I ask you guys something? 913-586-7965. Now, I've never been to the Masters. I do know a few people that have been to the Masters, and they've told me about the experience, and one day I do hope to go to the Masters. I'm sure by now you know about the prices that exist at the Masters. You can get a chicken biscuit for $3. You can get a blueberry muffin for $2.50. You can get a pimento cheese sandwich for $1.50. They have savory tomato pie for $3. I'm not making that. They call it savory tomato pie for $3. Rob, would you try the pork barbecue sandwich? Now, maybe this is because my standard is way up there. But I don't know about you guys. When I go out of town, I'm not getting barbecue in most of these cities. Now, I've gotten barbecue before. So my mom recently moved to Austin, Texas. We were down there, like, I got to try it. We're here. Let's go on Yelp. Let's find what they think's the best barbecue. And I got to see for myself. I got to see if the barbecue is good. Now, I'm going to tell you, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was very, very tasty, in fact. Can't wait to go back and have some more of those ribs. Do we think there's any chance that the pulled pork barbecue sandwich at Augusta National is good? Because I've got my suspicions. I don't know.
So, first and foremost, I want to tell you that Masters coverage on 95 The Fan is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete.
Man.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Gann Asphalt and Concrete ensures your parking lot is inviting, safe, and cost-effective. One contractor, all things parking lot. Second thing, define good. Do I think it'll be better than Kansas City? No. Am I willing to give it I'm willing to give it a shot. You've been to Memphis? Have you tried their barbecue? I've been to Austin. I've tried their barbecue.
I did not have barbecue in Memphis. I did get some of the wings. I was kind of curious to try the wings. They were fine. They were good wings.
My point is, I've been to the other barbecue cities and I've tried their things. Their things actually like brisket. I think they do a better job in Texas than Kansas City. But I still prefer Kansas City barbecue. I'm willing to try barbecue in other places.
You said that on this radio program. You just lying to people now?
Go to Texas and have the brisket. The brisket's better.
I enjoyed the brisket here better.
The burnt end here, nothing compares, but I would try it down there.
I'm going to guess that this pork barbecue sandwich tastes a little bit like airport food. I'm just going to go out on that limb.
I actually don't think that.
This pulled pork barbecue has Aramark vibes written all over it. That's what it's got. It's got Aramark vibes written all over it. I'm sure they do some great things well. Like the classic chicken sandwich. I'm guessing it's kind of hard to mess that up. The ham and cheese on rye bread. Also, kind of guessing that it's hard to mess up. You've had a bad pulled pork sandwich before.
That's true.
You know that catering barbecue, I call it. Yeah, I'm not too confident that the pulled pork sandwich at Augusta National, I don't think it's on fire like that.
I would give it a shot. I don't think it's on fire, but I'd give it a shot. I watched a podcast with Scott Van Pelt where he says one of the pro moves, the people who go to the Masters every year, wealthy people, what they do is they buy the Pinot cheese and the pulled pork and they take the cheese off.
To that. Yeah,
I would give that a shot for sure. I love pimento cheese though, so that's.
I don't know if I've ever had it before, honestly.
That's a miss by you. It's great.
Where would I would have? I'm just trying to now think of where I would have had the pimento cheese.
You traveled the globe. You're a world traveler.
Yeah, but I'm never looking at the menu like, ooh, the pimento cheese. I don't know if I even want a pimento cheese. It's a sandwich and there's just
pimento cheese inside. Yes.
That's it? That's all? There's nothing else? Like, yeah, I'm just not a fan of that.
Pimento cheese is delicious. I eat on crack. I would buy the little Masters cell pack of just the cheese. That's what I would do.
I'm actually shocked you haven't purchased that. Yeah, but I'm kind of weird. Like, I don't really like grilled cheese sandwiches either.
That's true. I knew that.
And my big reason for not liking grilled cheese sandwiches, there's never been a time where I was eating a sandwich and I thought to myself, man, you know what? This sandwich would be better if there was no roast beef on here. This sandwich would be so much better if there was no turkey on here. No, I've never thought that before. So why would I want a sandwich that takes away the best part of the sandwich? The best part of the sandwich is not the Kraft singles cheese you are eating or the Wonder Bread you are eating. No, it's the meat that's sliced in the middle. That's the best part of the sandwich. So yes, just eating a sandwich that's just the cheese sandwich, I don't know if that really appeals to me. But I would try it because I'm there.
Yeah, I love pimento cheese, so I would eat that in a heartbeat. I think I'm not saying the pulled pork is like, oh man, change your life good, but I'm betting you would walk away being like, that was passable. That was a suitable pulled pork sandwich.
Some people on the text line, so there are two people now. CDOT, I've been to the Master. Everything there is fire. Someone else says, I've been to the Masters. The pork barbecue sandwich is fine. It's just fine.
Yeah, I would say it's fine. I'm not. If you walk down there being like, man, I'm about to have my world rocked. That's no. But I bet you walk away being like edible.
I will say that there's only two things I think, at least in our world, that if you ask somebody, have you been to, you are impressed that they've been there. The Masters is one of those things in the Super Bowl. Those two things are, oh, you've been to the Super Bowl before? Like, you get excited. You want to hear stories about what it's like to go to the Super Bowl. The Masters is also kind of one of those things, too. Maybe there's some other things that I'm just not thinking, but, like, if you told me you went to the Indy 500, I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, I wouldn't be super impressed if you've been to the Indianapolis 500. I mean, maybe I've been to one of those things. I've been to the Kentucky Derby before, so maybe that's the thing that you like have all the questions about what the Derby's like.
The Derby's definitely one of those things.
But I feel like it's two things. I feel like it's the Masters and the Super Bowl. Oh, you've been to that? I got questions. I want to know about it.
Is that partly because the World Series and NBA Finals are played in home cities, so like they're not like destination events? Like the Super Bowl is in a third party.
Yeah, I also think too with the Derby, and like now I know this from going to the Derby is very obtainable for everybody. Like, Now, based on how much money you are willing to spend, that will change the experience of it. But you can go to the Kentucky Derby right now. You don't have to do you can go to the Derby for $100. Now, you will be you will not have a great seat. You will not have all the amenities of those things. You cannot just right now buy a ticket to go to the Masters for $100 or the Super Bowl, but you can for the Derby. So I definitely get the mystique about it, and I always felt that way. It was a bucket list item for me. But now that I've been and I'm planning on going back, going to the Derby is very obtainable for most people.
I thought of another bucket list type item that people would be impressed with. If you met someone who's been to the Rose Bowl, would you be impressed with that person?
That's a great question.
Because I remember I was talking, I forget where, I was talking to Blair Kirchhoff once, and he covered the Rose Bowl, and I was in awe. Hey, you've been to the Rose Bowl? That's incredible.
Did you go to the Rose Bowl game or just the structure of the Rose Bowl?
The Rose Bowl game, not like watching.
Okay, yeah, I would be impressed if you've been there.
I'm not talking about watching UCLA and Cal.
Okay, that's why I was asking. That's why I was curious to know. Like, are you saying that you've been to the Rose Bowl or you've been to the Rose Bowl? They're two different things.
Been to the Rose Bowl,
okay.
Not the structure.
Because I'm just saying I've been to the Cotton Bowl, but I've not been to the Cotton Bowl.
I've been to the Cotton Bowl, like the actual the one.
I've been to the Cotton Bowl game, but I've never been to the Cotton Bowl. The structure of it.
I've been to the structure. I went to the Red River one year.
Oh, but that was a good time.
It was a great time. The fair. Go to the Texas State Fair, by the way. Okay. Crazy experience. But yes, I think the Rose Bowl would impress people. More so than the national title game. Like if you knew someone who was in Miami last year for the national title game.
Yeah, I would be more impressed if you went to the Rose Bowl.
I
for
agree.
Sure.
I think Heist went to the Rose Bowl.
Oh, that's fair. Someone said I've been to the practice round twice. I would love to go to the Masters. One day I hope to go to the Masters, but I've never been. Rob, you had a chance. So Rob actually, I can tell the stories real quick. Rob's brother won the lottery, but didn't invite Rob to go with them to the event.
Yes, that did transpire.
He just bought Rob a hat.
I got a hat, and he was like, you'd love it down there.
Who did he take to the event? Who did he go to the Masters with?
His college roommate who he plays golf with.
This was the best man at your wedding.
It was.
But when he got the Masters invite, he didn't.
He won a practice round. Actually, if we're going to put him on blast, let's lean into it.
Do you care if you go to I'm just saying,
I would go a practice round. Being down there is all I want to do.
Because I didn't know there's different things you can go to. You can go to the amateur championship. You can go to the women's Masters. Do you just want to go to the course and see it, or you want to go to Thursday through Sunday at the Masters? Those are two different things.
I would do Tuesday through Sunday. That's what I would want to do to see the pro golfers. He won the lottery, took his buddy, went down there. They walked around for the entire practice round. They were there from 10 to 5. At 4:30, downpour. He got a rain check. He had to go back the following year for free. Guess who he didn't take the following year? So he got to go twice.
Someone on the text line says, I was at the 05 Rose Bowl game between Texas and USC. That's one of those things that if you told me you were there, I'd be like, oh, wow, really? You were at that game? No, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Coming up on the other side, we'll reset everything. We'll get you ready for the weekend. A lot going on right now in sports. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this, and we've got the crash that is still underway, 291 Highway, southbound past 470. You got to scoot to the left through here to get through here. 2 right lanes are blocked, 291 Highway, southbound past 470. Then we've got the crash 70 eastbound at 635. Left lane is blocked. Valley traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Spring is here, and the first golf major of the season is here, and there's no better way than celebrate with our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel has your back with the special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament gets going, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick, take a big chance, or make a bold prediction as we are celebrating the first major tournament of the golf season, and you know you want to be a part of it. Are you taking somebody to win it all? Well, go for it. Do you like somebody for a top 5 finish? Well, you can lock it in with confidence because if it doesn't hit, you got that mulligan in your back pocket locked and ready to go. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Tonight, expect showers and thunderstorms with a low of 53.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
Join us at the Fans Draft Party at the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill on April 23rd for your chance to win $965 in our draft contest. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, I know this is where I'm supposed to congratulate you in your 9 to 5, and I hope that you know that I hope you had a fantastic day at work. I hope you had a great week at work. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'd have to spend some amount of time. The Athletic is doing a probe with Diana Rossini and trying to get more understanding of her explanation of the pictures that surfaced this week with Mike Vrabel that were published in the New York Post. At this point, we have so much information. So for those of you that don't know, Diana Rossini, she's probably one of the 5 top NFL reporters. People think that she is having an affair with Mike Vrabel. They were at some private adults-only villa. They were seen taking pictures and canoodling. There was then another group of pictures of them sitting at the bar together. Looked like they were pretty friendly, like they were having a good time, like they were having a conversation. I don't know how you as an adult who has been in relationships, who have been romantic with another party, who has been intimate with another party. I don't know how you can look at those pictures, see the body language of the two individuals, and not come to the conclusion that those two people are in a relationship with each other. I don't know how you can do that. Now, what does that mean for her job? That is for them to decide. I don't really know what there is to probe in all of this. I saw the pictures. Some of you are married and have been married for some time. Can you explain why your wife would be off with another man in a embrace where she is holding him and they are looking at the sunrise together? In what scenario could you see that and your conclusion is that these two people are in a completely platonic friend relationship, or this is a co-worker relationship? No, these people are they are dating, or whatever you want to call what they are doing with each other. So I don't really know what there is to probe in all of this. The question, I think, with Diana Rossini is, A, can she still do her job effectively? And can the public move on and still trust her? But she is guilty of this. She was in a relationship of some form with the head coach of an NFL team. I just don't know how you can see those pictures and come to any other conclusion.
I mean, the Athletic should do its job and do a probe. Like, they're doing the right thing. But I feel like the probe is going to come to the conclusion that their work relationship was inappropriate. Like, you mentioned, what would you feel if your wife or spouse was seen doing that? Imagine that with a coworker. Like, they're on a work retreat and there's a photo of them embracing at sunrise. I can't remember if it was sunrise or sunset. You'd feel away. You'd be like, something is wrong. So yeah, it definitely taints a lot of her NFL reporting, because it feels like she may have done things to get reports that are unsavory, or at least that's the belief now because of this.
Where do you think these pictures came from? If we're going to throw a theory out there, where do you think these pictures came from? Because I've heard some people say private investigator.
That's not a bad theory.
This has to be somebody that was in the know. They know who you are. They know who she is. They also know that you two are married and don't need to be together in the way that you are together. So this is either somebody inside either one of their close circles that are close enough to get to them to take this picture, or one of their two spouses assumed that the other person was cheating and went for more information to find out and got confirmation that that person was cheating.
I would bet private investigator of the options. Like, I don't think another journalist was using this to, make her uncredible. I think this was a private investigator for one of the spouses.
I don't think it was that. But I'm saying is,
but it's at the NFL owners, although they were like 20 minutes away from the actual owners.
That's why I'm saying is this also could be an inside job. This also could be one of your homegirls. She is not your friend in the way that she thinks you're your friend. She then took a picture of you. She went to go shopping around and found out that these pictures were not nearly as valuable as she thought they was, but she just took the money anyway. All of those things could be a possibility. All of those things could be there. So I don't know what's going to happen with Diana Rossini. I think ultimately she gets fired.
Yes, I think she's fired too.
I think ultimately she gets fired for this.
I saw that she's currently off the Scoop City podcast. So, I think they're starting to lay the groundwork for a dismissal, but I do feel like that's the end of this. Do you think she's an NFL reporter at the end of the day? Or do you think, like, she gets fired by the Athletic, she vehemently denies the allegations, the report comes out, the report gets buried, and one day she's at, Bleacher Report or Fox as an NFL reporter, or her days as an NFL reporter done?
I think she's going to have to sit out for this year probably. This would be the analogy, and we can move on from this. I imagine for those of you that have teenagers, you've expressed this sentiment to your teenagers. You could your kid could spend their entire high school career trying to build your trust and then break your trust with one time they stay out till 2:00 and now you put them on punishment and now they're grounded and you take away their car keys. I kind of feel like that's what this is. Like, I find it kind of hard to believe that as the public, just for example, how can she ever report on the Patriots again? How can she ever give you another report on the Patriots? Like, she might be 100% right and not got it from Mike Vrabel. But let's say that she has the scoop that Drake May is going to sign a contract that makes him the highest paid player in the National Football League. How in the world can she deliver that to the rest of us and you take her as a credible journalist and not just completely mock the report? How can you do that? That's what I'm saying is, like, Diana Rossini, I would say, was held up in very, very high regard. I didn't have any reason not to think of her in that way. But now that I've seen these pictures, I just don't know how you're going to look at her any other kind of way.
I think the way you feel about Patriot reports is how people might feel about any report. Like, if she tweets out Seahawks looking to extend, who do they need to extend? I guess they just did JSN, looking to extend, Nick Imanwari, you'd be like, I wonder how she got that scoop. I think she's tainted the whole thing.
I think she's done.
I think so too.
I think she's done.
I don't know if she comes back from this. Like, I don't know that she's sitting out a year and being an NFL reporter. I don't know that reporters can sit out a year and still be deemed good reporters.
Someone on the text line says they're two consenting adults. Why is this a big deal? I guess to me, this is where maybe it's like unfair for one side and it's not fair for other. Mike Vrabel's ability to do his job is not compromised in any way by him having a relationship with this woman, even though he is married. Her job is absolutely compromised. I 100% believe that she was sleeping with an NFL head coach to get inside information on the team. 100% believe that. That seems like a really big deal if you are a reporter to me. So, that's why I think it's a big deal for everybody. And this also isn't the first time she's been accused of this. This is the second time, in fact, she has been accused of this.
This one much more loudly. The first one,
we got pictures. The other one was like NFL innuendo and rumors. Mm-hmm. This is not NFL innuendo and rumors. This is I see you. I see you and Mike Vrabel hugged up looking at the sunrise. You guys are sleeping together. Like, what are we talking about here?
And that first story disappeared because A, you're right, no photos.
The woman also apologized too.
Yeah, there was, now we maybe find out the first photos. I don't know, but this one feels tough to bounce back from.
Someone on the text line says, you guys are too close as journalists and media. This will blow over by consumers on week 3. You ain't on the internet. I'm telling you, this will never blow out. Somebody said, give it time. The Joy Taylor news fizzled. She also doesn't work at Fox anymore either. Like, the Joy Taylor news went away. She's not on TV anymore. Yeah, like tomorrow, if Joy Taylor announced that she was on First Take, the jokes would be out there. I wonder how she got that job. That's the only reason why the Joy Taylor news went away. Joy Taylor has now become an Instagram influencer. That's a different profession where you just don't really care in that regard. Diana Rossini is trying to be Ian Rappaport and got caught up like this. This is where I think they are two very, very different things. All right, Rob, let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by the Salvation Army. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for the Salvation Army's Civic Lunch, which is taking place on May 7th.
All right, so let's talk about this. I don't want to just beat this dead horse with the Royals every single day because I just feel like we're in the exact same spot with the Royals every single day. But you guys know where I sit with the Royals. I don't have to go into some long soliloquy about it. I think this is indicative of a larger problem. I think the Royals are stuck. That's where I think they're stuck. We love a relationship analogy. The Royals need to go to counseling. You need some help. You've been married for quite some time. It doesn't have that fire that it once had. You need to sit down with somebody and figure out how we can get this thing back on track and how we can get the fire back in our relationship. The Royals have been an average baseball team for an incredibly long period of time. So as of yesterday, they have played 240 games since the All-Star break back in 2024. They are 2 games over 500 over that stretch. That is over a 240 game sample. Now, maybe you think that doesn't matter, and you think only the first 13 games of the season matter. I disagree. You disagree. It doesn't matter. I don't care about that. What I do care about is, when do we reach the point of it's not too early? Because if you are on the side, and Rob is on the side of it's too early, when is it no longer too early to be worried about the Kansas City Royals? Because their offense is once again underachieving. And the core that we were expecting to carry this offense and get them off to a hot start, all of the World Baseball Classic boys, other than Maikel Garcia, are all off to a very slow start. Bobby is off to a slow start. Vinny is off to a slow start. Jack Caglione, he doesn't have a home run or an RBI. Like, if I could go back in the system and find some of the things people were saying about Jack Caglione and the power and what you could expect, we were calling that guy Pete Alonso at some point. Now, I'm not saying he can't be Pete Alonso. He ain't Pete Alonso right now for the Kansas City Royals. And if he was, they wouldn't be in this situation. So when is it too early? Because you cannot make the playoffs in April, but you can absolutely miss out on the playoffs in April. And what I don't want is I don't want in May, when we get past the NFL draft and there's nothing going on and the Royals are now 7 games under 500 and now they spend all of June trying to dig themselves out of the hole that they created for themselves, when you could be taking care of your work and your business right now. Folks, they lost a home game to the Chicago White Sox. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. They're in the division. They didn't score. They didn't score a run last night against the White Sox. 0. In the last 41 innings for the Royals, they have struck out 51 times. Their offense has been embarrassing. There's really no other way to put it. Their offense has been embarrassing. And in my opinion, we have had too many stretches over the last year and a half where we have all said, well, if they can just tread water and wait until the bats heat up a little bit. I'm tired of saying that. When are the bats hot? Why can't the bats get hot? And why do they all get cold simultaneously? It's not like it's one guy right now that's on an absolute tear that's carrying the offense and then the other guys are going to follow. It's like all of them are cold at the same time. It's just hard to win 90 games when they go through such hot and cold streaks.
I guess one of the reasons I'm going to be team patient here is, by the way, I agree 1,000%. You can fail to make the playoffs because of April. You can't make it in April. I agree with you. I also think right now, though, 5-8 is not a reason to say they're not making the playoffs. Let's wait. Now, on May 1st, and we had Vern on the show earlier, and I know he'll be on for the pregame, the on-deck show here in another 15 minutes. He said, let's wait till May 1st about the division. Because if the Royals are 13-17 on May 1st, then yes, I think the division may have already slipped through their fingers. But if they are, hovering around 500, maybe a game or two over, or they're only 3 games back at the end of April, you did not doom yourself. I understand why people are jumping to big conclusions, but 13 games in is not nearly a large enough sample size, at least for me, to make sweeping rationalizations. I'm here for conversations about the runners in score position hitting. Doesn't exist. I'm here for conversations about what happened to Vinny Pasquantino. Does he know the season started? Did someone hit his snooze alarm? Because he hasn't hit at all. I'm here for conversations about Salvador Perez, who's about to be 37 years old and cannot hit right now. I'm here for those conversations. But the idea of the 5-8 baseball team it's a sign of doom and gloom. I'm not there yet. I will wait until May 1st before I make that jump or a conclusion based on what we've seen. So I'm team wait, at least for now, because there's still a lot of there's still 149 games of baseball left.
Okay. This would be the counterpoint I would make. I feel like you are giving the Royals a measure of Chiefs benefit of the doubt or Kansas basketball benefit of the doubt, despite not really doing anything to warrant that. For example, when Kansas basketball gets off to a slow start in non-con, I'm guessing, Rob, you don't get too worried about it. Oh, this is just what they do. Bill will yell at them and tell them that they're soft, and then they'll play some random team at the T-Mobile Center, and then they'll beat that team by 14 points, and then Bill will whip them into shape. I'm guessing you've had that thought process at some time. If the Chiefs lose their first 2 games of the year, oh, it's still really early. They got Mahomes. They got Andy Reid. Why I think this is a little bit different is this offense, and I'm not just looking at it right now, this offense just hasn't shown me, based on the pieces that they have, that they're turning this thing around. I just think at some point, maybe I have just come to, this is their offense. It's hot and cold. I've been saying this all week. They are going to get hot at some point, for sure. Like, it's baseball. The Royals are going to go on a stretch where they win 7 of 9. The Royals are going to have these kinds of stretches. But are they a team that can avoid these prolonged 2-3 weeks where they just look absolutely helpless offensively? They look helpless.
Let me respond to and you're right. I probably have given the Chiefs or Kansas basketball a measure of patience that maybe the Royals haven't earned. I'll say this, though. I think one of the reasons I'm patient with the Royals is because of the sport. This sport it's imperfect that it's 162. I mean, we had a game moved to the daytime because it was 32 degrees in Cleveland. I'm cool with trimming the season down. But it is an absolute marathon, not a sprint. So I'm not going to worry that when they fire the starting gun, the Royals didn't sprint out ahead of everyone. I would have loved that. That would have been great for you, me, the show, everyone. But I'm not going to worry when a sport like football, for the analogy, you can't really hang in the back. You can't make a turn at the, quarter pole like they do in horse racing. You kind of have to, start hot. The Royals, because of the sport they play, I'm going to give them a measure of patience because it's a grind of a season. And last year, the Royals, which if you want to tell me it's the same team, that's fine. They were one, not just bad, abysmal month away from being a playoff team. If they were 500 that month, they were 8-26. If they were 13-13, postseason baseball would have been back in Kansas City. So I'm not burying the team for being the same as last year, when I don't think last year was all that bad. They were a plus 500 team that was literally 3 to 5 games away from saying, oh, we're back in the postseason. So I'm willing to give them patience again.
I don't think that that's unfair, but I guess I would argue, though, that's the difference in the margins. To use a cross-sport comparison, I think Missouri has been a very good football team over the last 3 to 4 seasons. But, Rob, we have seen when Missouri really has that chance to get over the hump, hey, you got to go on the road and you got to beat Vanderbilt. Or last year, you got a home game against Alabama, and that was an okay Alabama team. Man, you had them up against the ropes. You got to be able to deliver that knockout punch. Unfortunately, under Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri has been unable to levy that. So I know you, Rob. Next year, I'm going to get myself all excited. Oh, man, Missouri's got a shot. They got a chance. Well, Carrington, what about this thing? What about this thing? That's why I don't think they can do it. I'm presenting that exact same thing in evidence that the reason Missouri is not X program is because they usually lose these kind of games. So when you're saying, oh, well, they were a good month away, well, the Royals have not shown me, based on what they've done so far through the 2 weeks, that month is not going to happen at some point this season. That they are not just going to have a 3-week stretch where you think, man, if they just could have figured it out and got it together, they would have made the postseason. I think that's the thing that's most telling in all of this is they just don't look different at all. They don't really look different in any capacity. This almost looks like just a continuation. This looks like they just kept playing baseball like there never was an offseason. I think that's what has me more on edge than anything is this just doesn't appear to be a different formula at all from what all of their issues were last season. It's like you took something to the shop and then, hey, you told the mechanic there's a noise that's happening, and then you drive the car off the lot and it starts to make the exact same noise again. That's what it feels like watching Royals baseball right now.
I think we largely actually feel the same. I guess the major difference for me is they don't need them to avoid a bad month. They're going to have a bad month. You're right. The Royals are the Royals. I just feel like if they can avoid a disaster, they are a team that could be competing for the playoffs. So, like, for my May 1st comment, if the Royals on May 1st are 8-18, I'll just use that number because what they were last year in May, then I will join you and I'll be like, whoa, I was way off. This team that's the bad month. It's going to sink the team, so on and so forth. But at the end of April, if they are 13-17 or 13-15, let's say there's 28 games. If they're 13-15, that's not a disastrous month. That's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. You now have ground to make up. If last year's team came back and did this year they did last year, but just avoided the dumpster fire June, then they're competing down the stretch. So if April's going to be their bad month, as long as it's not a dumpster fire to me, I'm willing to give this team a little bit of grace because maybe for the second time in our lifetime, Carrington, this team is coming off back-to-back winning seasons. We don't see that in Kansas City, or at least Royals fans our age. If you saw Brett's teams, great. But we've only seen that once ever before in the history of the Royals. So I'm going to give them a little bit of grace that, hey, you guys did something that doesn't really get done here all that often.
I also think this team has a chance to finish with a winning record. I mean, that's not the conversation to me. The conversation is, can they win their division?
I meant like, but the fact they've done something.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I guess that's my hope for the Royals is that in August and September, we are not looking at fan graphs and they got a 20% chance of making it, and me and you got to do some crazy mental math of how they could make the postseason. But no, on August 17th, they got a home series against this team, and they're one game back in the division, and they got a chance to pass them. So that's what I'm saying is the work you put in now puts you in the position to be there. What's that saying? All the working out that you do in January and February, that's how you get your summer body. You don't just wake up in September and you're a contending team and you got a chance. No, the work you put in April and May puts you in the position where you can have a really fun summer. And you're right, it's early on in the season, but so far I ain't seeing a whole lot of work that's happening right now. This team offensively is bad. They're bad. They're really bad, actually.
Now right now they are terrible. Now, I think another reason for my optimism is the reason they're terrible is their best player stinks. You made this analogy of Vern, and it's perfect. You know what the Royals offense stinks right now? Vinny and Salvi. That's the equivalent of the Chiefs offense being bad, and the reason is because Mahomes is throwing picks and Travis Kelce's got the dropsies. Yeah, the other players matter. Yeah, you'd like to have a great run game, and you'd like to make sure your O-line's great. And those things with the Royals, the equivalent exists too. But right now, one of the reasons their offense stinks is
they need their dogs to be dogs.
They're not even puppies right now. They stink.
That's embarrassing.
They're
not pups.
You know what they're doing? They're asking for Darren Peterson production, and they're getting Jamari McDowell. That's a problem for the Royals. Actually, they're getting less than Jamari McDowell. They're getting Corbin Allen production right now.
That's not good. That's not a position that you really want to be in. The over-under for today's game is 7.5. The Royals are a slight favorite in today's game. They're minus 180 on the money line.
It's still the White Sox. I mean, that makes sense.
They beat them yesterday. They got Boobage back on the mound today. Would you bet the Royals today?
Yes, today feels like a bounce back. I don't know if they win the series.
Yesterday. I thought yesterday was the bounce back.
That's a good point.
Well, they
got the City Connects on tonight, though, so that's good.
That's important. You got to have the City. For the first time debuting those bad boys, the City Connects all weekend? Oh, you got to get going. All right, we were off a little bit earlier today because of the Royals. There's a lot happening this weekend. We got the Masters, baseball. This is the final weekend of the regular season in the NBA, so a lot going on. We'll catch up with you guys on Monday. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City.